Coin drop. Screen flash. The high score. Boss laugh.
Thumb sore, same fight. Lost track of the time all night. Snacks gone, eyes red. Still shouting one more instead. Distracted gamers, press start. Hey. Button mashing from the heart. Round one, game on. We get hit, go harder. Distracted gamers, press start.
What's up, Chuds? This is the Low IQ podcast.
What's up, you guys? Just dumb as hell over here.
What song did I have stuck in my head? I like to horrify people at the beginning with the current song that. Oh, it's just. Make my way downtown, walking fast. Honestly, and I miss you. Honestly, that song's just playing in the background of my life soundtrack all the time.
Yeah, I think that's kind of your theme song, really.
Well, if I had a theme song I would pick, it would be "Kiss from a Rose." If I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, that, to be fair, I mean, it's honestly your rendition. I mean, in the same way that Johnny Cash, "Hurt" is now his song, I think "Kiss from a Rose" is now yours, you know?
Yeah, Seal can't have it back.
Nope. Finders keepers.
That's my song.
No takes backsies.
You take your dulcet tones elsewhere.
With your lupus scars.
You and your lupus scars and your hot wife. I don't think he's still married to her, is he?
No, they divorced some time ago.
Oh, poor Seal. He'll just have to console himself with all of the other women and the money.
Yeah. With his piles of money. Being a very handsome man with talent.
How terrible
He
for
cries
you.
himself to sleep at night on his giant mattress made of cash.
No. It's a shame, really.
Kiss a rose on the grave. If I should fall. Apparently, they. I saw I haven't played the game, but that Lego Batman game came out, and they had "Kiss from a Rose" in the trailer for the Lego Batman game.
Oh, love that.
That's pretty strong. That's a near sale for me, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that's a good move. Whoever made that plan, smart.
Lego
Keep them
Batman,
paid.
"Kiss from a Rose." Are you kidding me? Remember
Who
when?
doesn't want that?
Remember when every movie, all the big releases were coined by like some iconic song from a big band? And
Yes.
like we just don't. It doesn't feel like we have that anymore.
No, movie soundtracks don't
expensive
sell
now.
like that anymore. Where it's like needle drop, either like because you think about it. There was like the original motion picture soundtrack, and then there was like the soundtrack, quote unquote, that had like maybe the one needle drop that they had at like the end credits, maybe two, and then the rest of it was just songs that were like the theme of the movie. You know?
Yeah, they paid some big.
I used to have the soundtrack for the second Batman movie with Michael Keaton.
You used to.
And yeah, basically there was one song that actually had words, and all the rest of it was just instrumental stuff from the
Right. Yeah.
film.
Ah, the good old days.
I really like that Smashing Pumpkins song they did for Batman and Robin. I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Terrible movie. Quite like
What do you
the
mean?
Smashing
What?
Pumpkin. Well, quite like the Smashing Pumpkins song. I find myself really disappointed that we aren't getting more Smashing Pumpkins, but they are releasing albums. They're just terrible.
Yeah, it's funny. Didn't he have an interview recently where he's talking about like the downfall of rock?
Yeah.
And like at some point, it's like, yeah, but there is a part of it where it's like, I don't want to hear these old, like Foo Fighters has this problem where it's like, you're old, I don't care. Like if Blink 182 tried to release an album now, like who would care? You're all
Nobody.
45.
They broke up and then they got back together and did release an album. And it was within the last 10 years, I want to
Yeah,
say.
it's foolish. Well, and they had because Tom DeLonge was doing his Angels and Airwaves thing, so they had like
Well,
the lead singer from another band with them for a while.
yeah. I
It's
mean, they
all,
both did their own thing. There was Plus 44 from the other side and then
yeah.
Angels and Airwaves from Tom.
Well, it's hard to be sort of counterculture and rebellious and angsty about your life as a young man in your 50s.
Yeah, when your brand is "Mom and Dad don't understand," that doesn't last very long.
Suburban life is so vanilla. I want to break out of this lame life, and it's like, I don't want to hear this from a 50-year-old, you guys. I can't believe Oasis is touring.
Yeah,
You know-
it'll go well, I'm sure. They certainly
Yeah.
won't have another blow up with each other. That won't happen. Screaming.
No, it'll go so smooth this time.
Did you know they had a #1 hit song only in the UK? It was just them screaming at each other in a sound booth.
Really?
Yes, it charted. I want to say it hit #1 for at least a week, but like it
So
charted
funny.
very well, and it was just them having an argument
Why did they release it?
because it's funny. I don't know.
That is hilarious.
I mean, apparently it's sold. Like, my God.
You know what are fun secret behind the scene things to listen to is always the DVD commentary, which are not as emphasized as they used to be.
No, it's sad. You think with streaming we just have them as well, but no.
I think it was Jay and Silent Bob where they were talking about the film, and like Jay woke up partway through the DVD commentary and they started to give him shit about it. It was like, oh, look who's awake. He's like, shut up. There was I can't remember what DVD commentary it was, but there was one DVD commentary where they were talking about the film and they got bored halfway through and left.
Oh my God.
And then I think the main guy left, and then who was left was the director or something. They started talking about a completely different movie that had nothing to do with what was on screen.
This movie sucks. Let's talk about something else.
That's funny.
They used to have video game commentaries, folks.
Yeah.
I've listened to them on Halo and Left 4 Dead.
They did one for BioShock
Yeah.
with what's that loser's name that did
Oh,
BioShock?
Ken Levine?
Yeah. Where he's talking about like the development of each level and stuff. It's on Steam if you ever. I think if you get, I don't know if it's a standard edition or whatever, but if you get BioShock on Steam, you can turn on the commentary, and it's weird because you walk it through the level and they'll just talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Valve ones, because they have them for like, I think the Orange Box has commentaries for all the games, I think. I know they do at least I know they did it for Left 4 Dead, and I think they did it for Half-Life, where like you just walk up to these little like dialogue bubbles that are like 3D objects, and it just starts playing the commentary. But like the level's like empty, it's like you're not like actually playing the game, you're just walking through the level.
Oh. Famous Trump supporters Valve.
Oh, yeah?
Is it Orange Box?
Good to know.
You get
They
it?
knew. Gabe knew. Even then, he sees all, both forward and backward.
Our hyper political podcast already.
Yeah, well, that's what this is, right?
Oh yeah, this is the political podcast commentary.
This is the 2026 election podcast, right?
Well, you know what I
Yeah.
can say. Whatever your opinion is, Trump is a guy that is. You can either parody him, which I don't think works because he's just a parody caricature anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's also easy to make fun of. But it falls. It's like How can you make fun of a guy who says outrageous stuff and smugly stands by it?
And that's true. I said that, and I believe it, and I think I'm being proven right.
What was the conversation we had the other day? Who would you rather make out with, Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Oh God, yes, we did have this conversation, Red.
And your contention is if you made out with Joe Biden, it would be considered elder abuse because he's not aware of where he is.
Yeah, I don't think he can give consent. Rationally speaking, I don't.
Right, and if you made out with Donald Trump, he would just, this is the greatest makeout session you've ever had. I'm the greatest.
Well, he would absolutely kiss and tell. Like he's.
Yeah. Well, my contention was even if it is elder abuse with Joe Biden, you could make out with him, and then he wouldn't remember, and then you could hide your shame and try and forget.
Well, and it's like, I mean, is it the worst elder abuse he's had in the last 8 years of his life?
No.
Probably not.
And he won't remember to tell on you.
I don't know. This is a weird, creepy conversation. I mean, it's all hypothetical, of course, but
No,
the
this is
tone
not
is
hypothetical. This is an option at the moment, Ross.
No, really? You have these are on the table for you? Oh,
I have access.
oh my God! Wow, what access?
I am confidential. Regardless, these are stupid conversations you have in the background between friends, sort of thing.
While playing Jedi Power Battles.
Yeah, well, play Jedi Power Battles, which is great.
It's a game. You should play it.
It is. How are you feeling about the nostalgia of that thing? Is it living up to it? Because it plays really well. The basically re-release.
Yeah, it's I really enjoyed it. It's both harder than I remember and easier. You know what I mean? Stuff I remember being frustrated with, I kind of breezed through, and other stuff I don't remember being a problem is. So it's just one of those things. I don't know. Like when you're a 9, 9 or 10, stuff plays differently and feels different. But
Yeah.
I really liked it. It's been a very fun game. The final boss fight with old Darth Maul is really hard for me.
It's still busted.
Yes.
Like you gotta get a specific moves with each character that you can kind of spam and hit so that he doesn't hit you back at the same time.
Yes. Yep.
Which is flurry double blade of lightsaber nonsense.
Oh, because you can't just sit there and block it because your block will run out
Yep.
immediately as soon as he
Yep.
hits that move, and you're like, oh God, all right, well,
Screw you, Darth Maul.
damn it, I gotta cut you in half. Just let me hit you. You're gonna have spider legs. Don't worry about it. Things get really stupid.
At least when it comes to villains, you were still, the coolest we got of the prequels. The next villain we
True.
get is Old Man.
Is Count Poo Poo? I mean Dooku.
Wow, Ross.
What?
Way to highbrow this conversation.
Well, he sucked. I mean, listen, I love Sir Christopher Lee. That character blows chunks.
Famous man killer Christopher Lee.
I was just to say famous kraut killer.
Who actually came from nobility, too. Like, he knew a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah, he was quite the
Aristocrat.
connected man. Yeah.
Those were not airs he was putting on. That was his
No.
normal, everyday demeanor.
Yeah, kinda. Like he knew James Bond author.
He did, Ian Fleming. Weren't they related?
They were
somehow?
related. They're cousins. Yeah, they were cousins. And it's interesting because then he plays the villain in Man with the Golden Gun, who Scaramanga, who's based on a bully that Fleming had in school.
Just to trash on him. They just name a villain after him.
I'm gonna name a villain after you, and he's gonna have a third nipple.
If you can't tell, this intro's been kind of meandering. Nothing majorly stood out as a big conversation, and me and Ross had a conversation about problems with gaming recently, and I wanted to kind of recreate because it was interesting.
Yes.
But I don't know how long that conversation is going to last, so I was kind of wasting time with general conversation, which I contend that most people get lost or bored with. But who knows? Before we get there, Ross finished Spider-Man Noir at a breakneck pace today. How was it?
I watched the whole thing. It's the first time I've binged a show in God, I don't know, years. It was good. It I really enjoyed it. I mean, I Spider-Man is one of the few superheroes I liked as a child. So I at least have some connection.
I want it
But
to be good.
yeah, I mean, it's not like amazing. I won't say it's like, oh my god, this show. Like, and part of the problem is I did binge it, which is like my least favorite way to take something in and like process. Uh, you can do it with really slow, boring shows like The Walking Dead, but like this show it was good. It's very they lean heavily into the noir thing. I think probably my biggest criticisms have been some of the needle drop choices are fucking terrible. Like this show is supposed to be like the early 30s, I would assume, because
They
like
inserted modern music into it.
well, that's the thing. It's not modern music, but it's like
Not time
10
period
or 20
correct.
years off. So like there's like a Rosemary Clooney song and it's like this song's from like 1959. And then there's like some Bing Crosby tunes and you're just like these are not quite right, but like whatever, like okay. Shouldn't there be more like actual jazz, not big band, but hey, whatever.
That's what I want to do. I want to make a period piece movie, but then have all of the music like the wrong era.
Well, and there's famously shows have done that, like Peaky Blinders, right? But they were going for very much a feeling, and like so they went with like really like gritty, like kind of grimy rock bluesy songs, like Nick Cave, like the Red Right Hand song, and a lot of stuff like that. But like it's all to fit a feeling, and I guess that's what they're trying to do here. But it's like having like a 15-year-old make these choices where it's like these are not the correct choices.
Oh, look who it is, drunkenly stumbling into the podcast.
Oh my
gosh.
god.
It's the weekend and I'm drunk.
I smell alcohol in your breath. Where have you been?
A local
You better not have been
bar.
destroying Tokyo again.
You could tell how much she drinks alcohol by where have you been? My local establishment.
The local watering hole.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I want to make a World War II movie and have it all Vietnam protest songs.
Or just like Linkin Park.
Just
I had
confusingly.
Linkin Park do the soundtrack.
All of it is like an FMV video that people used to put on YouTube with Linkin Park
Yes.
in the background.
Yes.
Yeah, this will fit Stalingrad.
So badass.
Freaking out.
But yeah, I mean it's good. I like it. Like I said, the first 3-4 episodes they lean heavily into like the noir, private detective kind of thing, and it grows from there. There was no like glaring issues that I saw, but again, like taking it all in one day is like kind of tough for my brain to start parsing stuff out after a while.
You need to digest it for a day or two.
Yeah, to really think about it. But I'll say this. It wasn't like watching Fallout where every 5 seconds I had to stop and make a note of like, what the fuck? Like, because that's all watching Fallout is for me. It's just going like, what? Why? That makes no sense. Like, for the most part, people do things that make sense.
Can you tell why we've been so engaged to finish our Fallout review? Because it's just...
Hey, I want to make it very clear. I did finish the show.
No, it's all my fault. And it's hard to trudge your way through a show that you're just not engaged with.
It's so bad. And honestly, like, there's only one episode I want you to see, and then you could stop. Like, it doesn't get any better. It's just really funny, that episode. Like, it's so blatant.
We may have to just delete the other reviews of episode per episode and just do one mega review.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
We'll just sit down in a retrospective on a terrible show.
On just a really awful show. This was not an awful show, though. Spider Noir is good. You have the choice of seeing it in black and white or color. I'm going to tell you to watch it in color. I mean, maybe do the first episode black and white and then try the next one in color, or vice versa. But it's a really pretty show. There's only a couple scenes where I was like, ugh, they filmed that on a volume. But for the most part, like it's like really pretty, like really beautiful colors. because like the 30s were very like in the late 20s were like very colorful era.
Yeah, I always get that wrong historically. Everything isn't sepia toned, everybody.
Yeah, and this is not like that because that's one of the things we liked about Sinners, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Bright,
just
colorful.
the beautiful costuming, like, and this does that. And speaking of Sinners, Lee Jun Lee is in this, which she was the Asian like gal in Sinners,
Oh.
the husband wife duo that like sell food at the concert hall or whatever. But yeah, it's good. If you have any interest at all, you should definitely watch it. It is quality. I enjoyed my time with it. It wasn't a slog to get through by any means, especially considering I was binging it, which is like my least favorite way to watch shows. So yeah, you give it a try. If you have Amazon Prime, there's no reason to not try it because it's good.
This pleases Rhett.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you may watch it and be like, Ross, what the hell were you watching? This sucks.
Well, maybe, but listening to this podcast, you might get the impression that we just revel in everything being bad.
No.
But I really want good stuff. Like I really want, and I genuinely want Spider-Man Noir to be good. Like, and I'm pleased that it sounds like it's good. We'll see if Ross's opinions are just horrific. They're probably not.
Yeah, I could be just a giant moron who was like drooling out of the side of my mouth for 7-8 hours watching this, but I don't think so.
The right sequence of colors to please your animal brain.
No, just like that all day.
It was good.
This is good.
But
no, it's there's only one scene where I was like, wow, why didn't you just? All right, no, I guess movie wouldn't happen or show wouldn't happen. So fair enough, but.
Sorry for the crinkling. I was trying to quietly open a bag of chips and that did not work out.
How dare you?
A quietly crunched chip.
Well, it's like
what flavor of chip?
Ruffles, cheddar.
Did you bring enough for the entire class?
No.
Oh.
You cannot have any.
Oh, well, you need to put them in the mail to me right now. I need at least 5 chip from you.
5 chip?
5 chip.
Is there a modern term? It's like the friend tax or whatever that people use. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, kind of like with animals, the cheese tax. Whenever you get the grated cheese bag.
Yeah, but there's like a trending Gen Z term.
Oh God.
That
you have to ask the kaiju.
I don't even know what the heck you're talking about. I only knew the cheese tax.
Hey, Silver, you're Gen Z.
Am I?
You should.
I don't feel like
well, yeah, you are.
It's called the Phantom tax, by the way.
Oh, well, Silver should do that thing that like all Gen Z YouTubers do, where they clip a lapel mic on sequentially weirder objects to use as a mic, and just talking in front of a green screen. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like a fork, or
Yeah,
like
I've seen that. Yeah.
subsequently stranger things. You should do that.
Matt, I need you.
Just
I have a secret hope that we get to the point where we can just fund one of those like a VTuber like motion things for her, but it's just a giant monster with burning city and people dying in the background like it's fine.
It's just like, we're going to talk about games today.
Well, didn't I have a theory where I would do like a gameplay sort of YouTube video, and slowly people would realize that my background was I was imprisoned and forced to do a gameplay, like a playthrough. But like at one point, you would see accidentally like a barrel slightly out of the side. And then maybe one day I go in to do the next video and like my face is bruised or something.
Wasn't one like suddenly you disappear off screen, you come back and you're just drenched? Like
I got waterboarded. Yeah. No explanation. There's just this thing happening in the background. Otherwise, it's a perfectly fine like playthrough.
Yeah.
Welcome to the darkest streamer that we've ever seen on Twitch.
Well, do you
We're pretty
remember
sure he's
that,
in prison.
that Star Wars gameplay playthrough? I had an idea of where we played all the Star Wars games that we could in order to kill Anakin Skywalker before the end of the third movie, so that we could save the kids. And I was going to call it the Star Wars Save the Kids gameplay or whatever. And it was basically like every time you run into Anakin Skywalker or any of the Star Wars games, I would kill him. So it's like Jedi Power Battles. You would kill Anakin's character. Go to Pod Racer. You would drive him off the road. Go to any of the any game where I can kill Anakin Skywalker and save the kids in some sort of obscure universe. I was going to try and do. Never materialized, but you know, what are you gonna?
I would love this. This would be delightful.
Did I talk to you about that?
Yes. Yep.
It's like any game where I could kill Anakin Skywalker before, you know, the moment in Episode 3.
I gotta save
I
those
think I made a
kids.
mock thumbnail for that.
Did
It was
you?
hilarious.
Gotta save
Yeah,
them kids.
It's on Dropbox, but it was literally like Anakin with googly eyes, and it was like, "Can we save them?" Question mark.
Trying to save them kids. I have stupid ideas frequently.
They're great.
Oh, the amount of nonsense I would get up to if I had unlimited funds. Like waste of money nonsense. I constantly dream of pranks to pull on Silver, just like in life pranks. A choir shows up to mob her and sing about Chick-fil-A if she's stuck in the line at Chick-fil-A, so she can't leave because the car is in the drive-through for Chick-fil-A.
Drive-through.
So she just has to be embarrassed while this entire choir sings at her about Chick-fil-A. And I would show up in a chicken costume dancing on the side just to make it awkward for her.
Yeah, Silver.
Yeah. Just a massive waste of money. What are you doing? I'm just screwing with my cousin. I don't know what you want.
I'm having fun. What does it look like?
Just the sheer waste of money.
You Philistine.
I imagine you being like Tommy Lee Jones in the chicken costume from Federal Marshals.
Yeah. Or Tommy Lee Jones from Batman Forever, where I just can't stand Jim Carrey.
Or Tommy Lee Jones in the Boss Coffee.
And
Oh,
Boston,
God.
where he's just perpetually angry all the time.
Those commercials were so amazing.
Well, I remember when we went to Japan, looking around, being like, "Why is Tommy Lee Jones everywhere on the advertisement?
Seriously.
Why is Japan really into this old American man?" He's the face of
Because
Boss
he
Coffee.
is Boss Coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's angry boss guy in Japan, and they have commercials of him being cantankerous office worker, cantankerous school teacher, cantankerous whatever, and then he has his coffee. And you would think like some other commercial where he gets to drink his coffee and he turns to a normal person, like Snickers. No, he's just still angry Tommy Lee Jones, but he's pleased with his coffee. Like, there's literally a video of him screaming at students like a commercial, and then he throws, I think, the eraser, and it splits the kid's hair where it's shaved down the middle because it goes so fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bed and the wall behind him is just like,
What is this, Japan? Japan has great commercials, by the way. You know what other country has really good commercials? Thailand.
Oh yes.
Look up
There's
Thai
some unhinged
commercials.
ones.
They're so good. They are unhinged. Thai commercials are amazing, and there's like plot and narrative, and they go on forever.
oh wait, I don't know if it's one you sent me, but wasn't there one? It was super dramatic, like it was like a cinema masterpiece. Like, oh my
Yes.
gosh,
Oh, Thai
Show.
commercials are amazing, beautiful,
and it's
beautiful.
like an
Thai.
advertisement for chips.
Yeah, chips. I saw one recently where it was like a bug spray advertisement where they sprayed this cockroach and he mocked them for how pathetic their product was and then went back and then him and all his friends laughed and then they all started dying. And the product is like you spray the cockroach and then all the other cockroaches that touch him start to die. But it came this real dramatic, like they're holding their friend and he's dying in the cave or wherever he is. And it's like, what is this movie?
My favorite was that candy that we had in Japan, the Longman commercials.
Sagri
Oh, yeah.
gummies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are fairly
the
famous.
candy
on the
was
internet.
good, but the fact that they had a story.
Well, if you
that
put all
linked
the
all
commercials, if you put all the commercials together, they create a narrative. Yeah. No, like the Thai commercials are genuinely long. Like weirdly, like Americans would get bored in the first 10 seconds, and these last a minute or two. Unlike those Chilean commercials that decide to just edit Star Wars and insert their beer commercials into into Star Wars. You remember that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Which was because somebody had to be like, you can't edit Star Wars and put
What do you
beer
mean?
commercials into it.
Well, I did it, so
Cerveza Cristo. Literally,
If I remember right, they did get in trouble for that, but it took a while because, it was at that point in time it was kind of a lawless place down there. So
well, like it's not lawless now. I mean, it's just like a scene where Obi-Wan's talking to Luke. He turns, and then you see an ice box, and he opens it and takes out the drink, and you hear Cerveza Cristo, and then it's like, oh, and then the movie keeps going. So it's like it's in the movie. They just edit it into the film. Commercials are freaking hilarious. America commercials are terrible now.
Except for that one Starburst commercial.
Well, because that's old. Well, and it's notorious because it stuck in my head, and then I infected you all with the.
I forget what I was watching tonight. Yeah, it was completely random, but just someone in it just suddenly went, "Porque!" I started laughing my head off, and everyone's like, "What's so funny about that?" I was like, "Because porque!" Starburst!
Well, it's a Starburst commercial where it's like it's a fiesta in your mouth, and then it shows in the inside of a giant mouth, and there's like a mariachi band playing, but it's so juicy they start like getting swept down the mouth and its throat. And so it's like everybody, all the mariachi band dies or whatever, and there's this overweight mariachi band player sitting there on the tongues crying at the sky, porque, because everyone died.
And he gets swept away.
Look at that commercial. There's some funny Doritos commercials back in the day.
yeah.
I suppose we better talk about gaming. It's funny. Everybody, GTA. This is a conversation me and Ross had, and we're recreating it to some degree. We'll see if Silver can add anything.
Answer no.
GTA 5 might go down as one of the biggest games of all time. I as far as like most expensive or what, I mean, there's stuff like Star Citizen that costs absurd amounts of money. But
yeah, but
go ahead.
no. Well, I was gonna say, did you mean 5 or 6? Because 5 has made the most money. I think. Is there anything that can claim to have made more money?
I don't know. I know it's in the billions.
Yeah, it's like crazy amounts of money. At 6 may be the most expensive game. And then the problem with Star Citizen is like that's a weird situation because you have this weird cult thing going on
where
with
people will spend thousands of dollars.
yeah, where people feel like they're like Indiegogoing or like you know what I mean, like almost like a funding campaign almost, even though we're God, how many years into its development now? At least
wasn't it
8, you know.
That ambassador that died in Benghazi was also a big Star Citizen guy. He used to do negotiations between factions and that.
Oh, you're maybe Eve Online.
EVE Online might have been it too. Yeah.
Yeah, because Star
So-
Citizen was just announced in that era.
So I have a couple numbers for you here. This is
Hmm.
Grand Theft Auto 6. The upcoming title is between $1 billion and $2 billion to develop and market. So
Good
that's where
lord.
they're sitting on. But it says Genshin Impact has cost between 9 and 1 billion to develop and continuously support, since it's a live service model.
Yeah, it's still
And
updating, so the constant
yeah,
updating, I can see the added
yeah,
cost. But Genshin Impact's
Mm.
still huge. It's still a thing.
yeah.
I bet a
And
lot
then
of that's
Star
advertising.
Citizen, it
Yeah.
says between 700 million and 788 million.
Mm.
But as far as I know, that game hasn't really come out yet, has it?
Well, not really. I mean,
Maybe
parts of
parts
it,
of it?
yes. Like there is, but like it is not a complete game. Like you like if you tried to ship that as a complete game, that would be disastrous. And the
Yeah.
single player component, which was supposed to come out like 10 years ago or 8 years ago now, is nowhere to be seen. We've
Just
not
keep
heard
it in
hide nor
alpha
hair.
forever. It's fine.
Yeah, well, it seems to be making them money.
Yeah.
Why put out complete game when money do fine now?
Yeah, when money keep coming.
Continue money, no finished game. Good strategy.
Good strategy.
Well, so part of the reason why this is relevant at the moment is we are actually within the launch period that was originally supposed to be for GTA 6 at the moment.
Yeah,
Um,
till they backed it down to November.
November 19th, yeah, when it's expected. And one of the problems you see looking at GTA 6, like, look, GTA 5 is a devastatingly huge, popular game. I didn't play it because I have a cantankerous personality where I passively am not interested in the most popular things for some reason. It's the, hey, this is really everybody's watching, and it's like, well, not me. That and just GTA never attracted me. I never played any of the previous ones. It's just not something that's really attractive to me.
Yeah, it's not your kind of game.
No, not really. But it was huge and you couldn't avoid it. And it was a 360 launch.
Yes, it was.
Like, it came out in the 360 era. It's funny. Somebody was talking about, what was the joke? GTA 5 looks like a Xbox 360. Well, GTA 6 is going to make GTA 5 look like an Xbox 360 game. It's like GTA 5 was an Xbox 360 game.
Correct. It was. Like,
But here's the problem, though. It was so big, so devastatingly huge, that is there even remote possibility it lives up to its predecessor? Because if it doesn't do as good or better than GTA 5, it'll be seen as a failure to some degree.
Yeah.
yeah,
I was actually
too
wondering
successful.
I was actually wondering that when we were kind of going into this segment here, whether or not the hype that's surrounding GTA 6 is going to tank it.
I mean, it'll sell well out the gate and it'll do pretty good numbers, but if it crashes and burns to some degree, then it's like,
yeah, like it's. I think it will be. I hope they better hope that they make their money back just on the in first month's worth of sales. Because if they don't, I mean, there's a possibility GTA 6 online. And I don't even know. Do we even know is online capability going to be available at launch? Because it kind of really wasn't with 5.
Historically, it wasn't with 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right. So, if they're planning on it being like that, they better hope they are hitting on all cylinders, because by the time they get ready for GTA 6 online, people may not, if it didn't do well, people may not want to play it. Like, that could happen. In which case, they didn't make their money back, they're hosed.
This says that GTA 6 is not expected to launch with its online multiplayer component on day one.
Yeah, that's
historically
tradition.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Rockstar Games is widely expected to stagger the release of the story mode and the online mode.
Right. And
That's how
you
it
know,
was for Red Dead Redemption, and I don't know why gamers put up with the idea that you have to pay extra for an online feature that normally comes packaged in.
it's so frustrating. I hate that so
It's so
much.
what was it, like $15 to get the Red Dead Redemption 2 online feature added if you bought the single player?
I think so, yes.
It's like
It's been a while,
that's
but
horse crap, dude.
it is. And because the thing is, when GTA 5 came out, how long it had been since 4? What was it, like 3 or 4 years? Maybe 5 at most,
I don't
right?
know.
Because I think GTA 4 came out in '08, and GTA 5 came out in, what was it, 12 or 13? But anyway, like, I can't imagine that their costs were too outrageous. I'm sure it was a very expensive game. Don't get me wrong. It came out in 13. Okay, right at the end of the lifespan. But I mean, apparently we're talking about $1 billion for GTA 6 is the rumor. And what are we at? 13 years since the launch of 5? Like, that's a lot of hype, and that is a lot of development costs
It's
that
getting
you got
that
to pay
bad
off.
for Elder Scrolls 6 too.
It's worse. It's 15 years.
Good lord.
And the problem for them, because at least with Rockstar, they can, like, you can look back at Rockstar and be like, look, GTA 5 was huge, that's great. But the other games are like Red Dead Redemption 2, like that, like, it is kind of held up as a standard for like detail in video game environments and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, it's held up to be very well as far as the story mode goes. Obviously, there's been some drama with the online component where
Yeah.
it apparently, like, how I understand it, and I could be way up in the night, that the online didn't do as well, as big of numbers as GTA 5's.
Well,
So they just
it's
kind of
hard to
dropped it
sell
and then
new
didn't do anything with it.
cars, skins,
Yeah.
guns, and all that when it's basically just cowboy west. It's like, what are you gonna get, bling for your horse or something?
Yeah, another horse type. Like, oh, all right. But at least Rockstar has like quality to look back on. Like in those subsequent years, they've released games that have done well, that people have liked, that are quality. Bethesda, they have released worse and worse games as the years have gone on. You had Elder Scrolls, Skyrim come out, like Elder Scrolls 5, huge game, oh my god. And then everybody was amped up for Fallout 4. It comes out, it did well, but it is not as good as the previous two.
No.
Like, it just isn't. Yes, the graphics are better. The gunplay is better. It's still not great, but it's better. But the story and the writing are just fucking awful. I mean, they are so much worse, and the DLCs are notably worse compared to the previous two.
I liked making bases.
Yeah, well, good. You're in luck. That's what one of the DLC just was more of that.
Yeah, a lot of people got really bored with that. I enjoyed making little bases, but my biggest obstacle was like the what is it, the limit of the amount of things you could place down. It was like, no, I want to make mega base. Allow me to make mega base.
I want this thing to be nightmarish.
Just a castle of horrors, just gigantic mega base.
And like then we had, I mean, as everyone here in this podcast knows, they went to Fallout 76, which we played within the first month of release, actually.
Oh yeah, very close to release, yeah.
Hilariously, when the game was arguably at its worst. No NPCs, like you're just walking around, it's just corpses and enemies. And then we had Starfield come out, and it's just like disappointment after disappointment with Bethesda to the point where now a lot is banking on Elder Scrolls 6, like a lot.
Starfield's failure is absurd.
Oh, dude, Microsoft was, they were just so annoyed that they paid all this money for ZeniMax and Bethesda just to have it like not do that good.
Well, the Series X needed a winner. Like it needed a
Yeah.
justification to buy the console, and
Mhm.
Starfield wasn't it. It just
Nope. And they were probably thinking like, oh man, like Elder Scrolls 5 was huge. Like that is a game that is a generation
guaranteed
defining
win.
game. Yeah, like the Fallout 4 did big numbers. Like surely this is going to be, and no,
I
it
wonder.
didn't do very well.
I wonder if any of these executives understand video games in any way. Like, has any of them actually picked up a controller and played Starfield, been like, oh, this is kind of dull and boring, or they just not understand games and they're just like, guy make Skyrim good, new same studio make big game space, guaranteed
You know,
profits.
yeah, right. Like you always wonder. I'm always reminded of when this like idea, like when I think about that, I'm always reminded of that famous footage from the 90s of Bill Gates on a green screen, and then it's like behind him is like Doom. He's like, wow, these computer graphics sure are getting realistic. And he's like wearing a trench coat and has like a prop shotgun. Like,
Yeah.
clearly, he maybe played like 10 minutes of that. Like,
Tighten up the graphics on
Kind of
level 2
depends.
or whatever.
There are some CEOs, some execs of the game companies that actually are avid gamers,
Mm,
but you feel that by and large they're not.
yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that Asha Sharma seems like a surprise, coming out of left field like she has made some of those comments where we're like, wait, this sounds like somebody who actually understands it, but she didn't come from gaming. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I don't know if it's necessarily she understands it. I think it's
Yeah, she might not.
my contention was she, as an outside person, let's say I entered anything that I don't understand. Let's say it could be like a ladies' product.
Right.
Don't know anything about the ladies' product. I'm put in charge of ladies' product. And what do you do if you don't know anything about the product and you're placed in charge? Well, you're going to try and learn what's going on. And maybe the first thing you do is you look at polls or you look at customer responses. And then you go, and in a weird way, maybe what we're seeing is Asha Sharma is having a weird honesty moment where she's actually listening to gamers and what they're complaining about. And that's why we get the
Right.
reduction in Game Pass, where it went from like 29 to 22 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, the outside force. But Phil Spencer was a major gamer, and he was a positive, like, vocal part, but he made a lot of stupid mistakes when it came to being in charge of Xbox.
Yeah. It makes
Yeah.
one wonder if. Here's my theory, and it is a theory. I don't know these people, never been in Microsoft corporate. Who knows?
Don't
I
sell
wonder if
yourself
it's.
short. You were in charge for a while there, Ross.
Well, in the early days, they had that 9-year-old running Microsoft. I wonder if she feels more secure in her position in the company as like somebody coming from the AI division, which is like an up and coming division, this and that. Whereas maybe Phil Spencer felt like
What?
a yes man, or maybe not as vocal. I mean, not disparaging the man. I'm just trying to come up with any because it is baffling. That has been one of the most confusing things, and obviously one of the possible realities could be Asha Sharma is going for the easy wins to then sell poison pills later.
Yeah, that
These
may
are
be so. I mean, let's
these
still
are
stay
distinct
cautious.
possibilities.
Most
Yeah,
of-
like I'm.
Most of it is just like verbal stuff she said as opposed to actual actions. Like all of the whatever, no matter what she's done, it's going to come down to, did you make good game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And right now, Microsoft, really anybody. I mean, maybe Nintendo still, I guess, but like Sony and Microsoft are not really doing that.
There was really stupid news about Xbox involving her recently, and it's very dumb. But we'll get into it later. But it's like, why are we upset about this? Why? But to steer it back to stuff, I had a realization about the gaming industry the other day that was kind of the gaming industry is in this weird position where if you're going to put out a big AAA game, let's say mega AAA investment release, and the game is going to cost you hundreds of millions of dollars, let's say a massive whatever, a GTA or Marathon or Concord or whatever we're looking at. And even in gambling, even in like the marketplace, you're asking a company to invest absurd amounts of money and then wait for a return 6 years later, 7 years later, depending on how the incubation period for development and whatnot is.
Yeah, 4 if you're really lucky these days.
Right. And so you're asking companies to invest huge amounts of money, not just the cost of development, but the cost of employees, the buildings, the studios, the if they have insurance, all of these sorts of things, and just keep paying out pretty big salaries to large, sometimes very big development studios for 6 years and not expect any return. And so what you're really doing is you're rolling a really risky dice, and you won't know if it pays off, or you'll get your money back for like over half a decade later.
Long-term investment.
I mean, how ridiculous is this model for gaming? Well, I'm just going to throw huge amounts of money at Marathon, and then Sony's just going to cross fingers, keep them crossed for the next 6-7 years or however long Marathon development was, and then be surprised when it doesn't work out. And then it's just a net like loss across the board to the point where it's crashing one of the most well-known studios in gaming, Bungie, who are the standard of producing first-person shooters and the trendsetter for live service games when it came to Destiny.
Yep. Yeah, the looter shooter as we knew it for the past 12 years, that's Bungie. Like how many games have come out since then aping that model, that look, all that stuff. I mean, that was like Bungie was like they were the ones that developed this. And I remember at the time, like with Destiny 1, they were talking about how, oh, this is going to be a 10-year game, you know, we're going to support it for 10 years and all this kind of, I just remember thinking at the time, like, man, that's crazy. Like, what a crazy, and it just seemed so baffling, like, in the lead up to its launch. And, well, we can see maybe 10 years is a bit,
well, they were hired,
big pie in the sky.
They were hired as their live service experts by Sony. They were consulting on their other live service games, like Concord, that crashed and burned.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, what kind of, like, is Sony sitting there going, oh, what a horrible investment Bungie was?
Yeah, because, I mean, famously, Firewalk Studios was reported as having former Bungie devs in it. Like, it's... well, and the story, as it goes, was that, like, when Sony was acquiring, like, looking into Bungie and then acquired them, they had a lot of irons in the fire, as it were. So that there was theoretically a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. When apparently the reality is there was one iron in the fire, one thing in the pipeline coming, and that was Marathon. And it seems to be, the consensus kind of, without a lot of evidence, seems to be that Pete Parsons, the former CEO, was very much stoking that and like trying to make it look like padded out and look as good as possible to get as much money as possible. You know, maybe it wasn't just him. Maybe I'm up in the night. I'm just reporting on what I hear, what I see, what people kind of say and feel. And because we really don't have a lot of evidence. I mean, unless Sony comes out and says, yeah, Pete Parsons fucked us.
Isn't that a weird aspect of gaming too? Where normally if you acquire a company, you're acquiring assets. So you're acquiring building and resources and maybe machines and whatnot so that you can keep the business running the way it is. But in reality, a gaming company is more than just some chairs in a building. The gaming company, like you can buy a factory that makes a widget and it'll still produce the widget and produce some sort of value. But what you buy when you buy a gaming company is the staff that are capable of reproducing games that were just as good before. But gaming companies have huge turnaround. And so any assumption that when you buy a gaming company, you're buying an asset worth what created Halo is simply not true, because those people aren't the same people. And the fact that they could recreate that, it's like, well, I'm going to buy Bungie for, what was it, $3.7 billion? And it's like, we'll get another Halo or whatever. And it's like, but you won't, and there's no guarantee you will. And even the heads of the company aren't even the same people that produce the... I mean, it's not like buying a factory where you're still going to get a good product out of it. You're buying the staff and the theoretical product that they could build. And the problem is that theoretical product is being built by people that didn't create the original product that created the value of the company in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, I would be curious to know even how many devs from Destiny 1 were still
there
at Bungie when Sony acquired them in, what was it, 22, 20, somewhere around there. And who knows? I mean, because we know there's basically nobody from Halo still at Bungie. I mean, they were pretty much all gone by then. They're very, very few. And even the ones that were there that worked on Halo, they worked on like Halo 3 and Reach. Like they were like at the end of the lifespan. Most of the other OGs left either during Destiny 1 or after Destiny 1. They left around then. I mean, very famously, you had Marty O'Donnell left under very sour circumstances. Like
future politician.
And there's, possibly the future, was it senator or rep from Nevada? We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just because it's like you said, because at least if you buy factory, you can staff factory even with the same people, and it will make widget until the machines are no longer working. Like, and whether or not that widget stays competitive is a whole other argument, but at least it will make widget. Whereas you are buying artistry, you are buying the staff of artists, you are buying these creative projects that are either in early stages or mid development, or like you're very correct in that it is not the same kind of acquisition. It is a very and
you're buying skilled labor, which may or may not still be there.
Yeah, skilled labor that is skilled artistry, which is, I mean, it's like you and I talk about this, Rhett, with like wrestling.
Yeah.
You can't just plug and play wrestlers like plumbers.
Which they seem to think that they can do today, but that's not working so well.
Yeah, they keep trying this. Every company's tried this at some point, and it doesn't fucking work. But
you can't just write, okay, we have a guy as good as The Rock, everybody, and then everybody loves him. It's like a lot of that's really organic, and it just kind of happens, as opposed to you can't just artificially create this guy, no matter how many decades of trying to do that.
Yeah, the crowd has to like him, and the crowd is fickle, and the crowd is weird. I mean, it's sometimes just the most random things get over.
They'll love somebody and then hate them the 5 minutes later.
Yeah, and like Disney, I wonder too, because there's another aspect of this where Disney was buying IPs, right? Yeah. Like they spent the last 15 years more.
Is actually decently valuable compared to just idea people.
Right. And maybe that was because maybe these projects, like, oh, look at all this future IP. Look at it. And then it turns out, well, actually we got one. Like, oh.
Destiny, I guess.
Well, they have Destiny and now Marathon.
Yeah, that's like, valuable property.
Well, and and like it's been rumored. So like I remember when Marathon was announced, and it was then when it was found out. I don't know if we found out right when it was announced or a little bit later that it was going to be an extraction shooter. Like I didn't hate that idea, but I also didn't realize they were banking so much on Marathon. Like this wasn't just like some side game they were releasing. It was like, oh no, this is going to be like the future of the company, like, or at least a major part of the future of the company. And it's so baffling. Like, why didn't they just make a Halo-style single-player campaign with some multiplayer features? Why didn't they do that? Well, rumor has it Sony wanted a live service model, and so Marathon got chosen to be that. And it kind of sounds like the Bungie devs really have been enjoying some Escape from Tarkov or maybe Hunt Showdown, and like, well, all right, we'll do an extraction shooter. It's like, oh, that really niche genre. Like I keep thinking it's going to get big, but I keep being wrong. It's not. It's still niche.
Well, and gambling is an apt comparison because these are huge. It's like an all-in sort of situation where Marathon has to succeed, or Bungie is potentially gone as a company, because all of their eggs go in that basket, and it's too much money to really walk away from a failure. Like, you can't survive the hundreds of millions of dollars and the loss of reputation to have a failure like Marathon. You can't survive that. And it's like, Bungie might not be surviving that.
Yeah.
No.
There's kind of two things that are going on here. That one is the fact that they're, like you said, they're putting all their eggs in one basket. And this is one of the only industries that I can think of that really operates that way.
Movies to a lesser extent, but not as bad. Like,
right.
It's really bad
movies,
in gaming.
They can diversify and have several movies going at once. But really, with like these video games, the way that they build them is they basically focus 100% of their effort on one game at one time. And when they're doing that, they're just praying that this thing is going to make back the money they spent to create it. The other thing is that because of the pressure that's on the devs to create this in the shortest amount of time possible, you're getting high turnover at these companies. And not only that, but the companies do it to themselves because they get in a bind, because they're sitting there thinking, okay, we have to get this game out as soon as possible. So they hire a bunch more devs to hopefully make the project go faster. And then when they actually hit their release date, then they don't need those devs anymore, and they all get fired. And so you have huge amounts of turnover in these industries.
Crunch has been a drama-filled crap show in the gaming industry for
a huge problem.
A long time. Just as a quick aside, movies have their own weird problem when it comes to sort of cost versus return. Because whereas gaming, you have to invest in something and not get your money back, well, with AAA at least, not get your money back like 6 or 7 years down the road, and not know if you're losing or gaining money for 6 or 7 years of an investment. With movies, the turnover is like a year, but you throw potentially hundreds of millions of dollars into a film, and you have to, no other industry is like this. Gaming isn't like this, where you have to double your money that you put into it to break even.
Yeah,
imagine being an investor where it's like, to guarantee to break even on a stock investment, you have to double your money. And it's like, nobody could survive doing that. And I don't know how movies do. And you might be asking, what do you mean double your money? That's absurd. If a movie cost $100 million and it made $100 million, well, what you don't realize with film is half of the money made goes to the theater. And so in order to get the money back, it's half. Some places like China, it's like 60-40 sort of thing. But about half goes towards the theater. So in order for the studio to make the money back they invested, if they invested $100 million, they have to make $2 at least. And then you're adding on top of that all the advertising that might even double or at least 50% on top of that. So now you're looking at $100 million movie has to make like 250 or 3 to break even. And what kind of company can survive when you invest in something and you have to double your money on what you invested in order to break even? That's an absurd strategy for any company to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it is that they're doing it to themselves because they don't report on the marketing money that they pour into these things. And so we're sitting there looking at it and saying, well, it's $100 million movie. It should make $100 million to break even. And they're like, well, we didn't tell you about the $50 million we also spent to promote this film. It's like, why isn't that taken into consideration when we're talking about these numbers here?
Well,
so
I'm not even talking about
themselves, but
I'm not even talking about the smoke and mirrors. I'm talking about you have to double simply because half of it goes to the theaters.
Right.
Yeah.
So at a base, not talking all of the other ancillary costs that always get added onto that they try and hide or pretend isn't existing. At base cost, you can't just make $100 million on a movie you spent $100 million on. Because it's funny, you'll get a big movie release and people will be like, it's already made its money back. It's like, but it didn't. And I'm not even talking about advertising. I'm talking about you literally have to do twice as much as you invested in. maybe breaking even. And then you add advertising, which is all these other costs on top of it. And then you add all these other like reshoot costs, which add huge amounts of money on top of the cost of the original film. Not to detract too much from gaming, but I was like, if you think about movies, they're also a weird industry. Why would you?
they are.
Why would you build it this way? That's really stupid. But let's circle back to games that we were talking about.
I mean, you're right. It doesn't make any sense for the gaming industry to be structured in this way. Unfortunately, I think it's kind of been organic in that a lot of game companies have seen what other companies have done, poured all their efforts into making a game that's like the game that made the most money last year, in hopes of riding on the coattails of that game into the same amount of profit that game made. And they really don't take into consideration, look, you should have multiple irons in the fire here. And you should never be putting so much money into any one game that the success or failure of this game tanks your entire company.
Well, and this is
stupid.
a AAA problem, let's be fair, because there are AA games out there that don't cost absurd amounts of money and don't have 7-year development cycles that earn their money back fairly easily because there's just basic fun ingrained into the game.
Right. The indie game companies seem to have kind of figured some of this out, but it could be that they
exist as an indie company when you have no big investment and then still get away with gambling your entire life on every new release. I thought Ross was going to intercede there.
I mean, obviously we know there's like these huge budgetary problems where like they're spending too much, they're taking too long, and a lot of this seems to be, at least we assume, a lot of it's like in pursuit of fidelity, you know, like the high fidelity graphics and like these insane requirements, and yet like
more money
and don't get me wrong,
more profit.
Yeah, like, and don't get me wrong, there's absolutely some gamers out there who are pea-brained, and unfortunately they've been around for a long, long time, since I was a kid, that like, well, it doesn't look good, like the graphics, the graphics aren't good, I don't want to play it. And it's like,
Graphics are the least interesting thing to me. Like, I almost cater to deliberately trying to be retro at the moment.
Yeah, well, what matters more is art style. Does the art, like, does everything fit together? Does it work?
Is
like
it fun?
That is far more important as far as the look of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas, and then, obviously we got gameplay and all that stuff, but like, because I mean, I can imagine there being a game that is really hard to look at, or like, not just because the graphics aren't like high fidelity, but like things look off, like they don't go together, blah blah blah. But I don't know. When I go back and look at and like play old games that were made well back then, I don't notice it. Like, even on like the weird, it's like the early days of 3D graphics, like they look fine still because they all fit together. Like, does it look silly? Like, like probably one of the worst looking 3D games of the era was like maybe GoldenEye. That's a pretty rough look to go back to, but even then, like, I don't know, it's fine.
Yeah.
It all fits together well enough, but the other thing that I think is such a problem, and we've kind of touched on, is just the length of time. Because we've talked about length of time, and then like how much money GTA 5 has made because of it being like service and all this sort of stuff. But like we talked about with Bethesda, look at Naughty Dog, where for some reason I thought Last of Us 2 came out in like 21 or 22. It came out in 2020.
Yeah.
Like 2020, and we still like. There's still not an official release date for Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet.
No.
We're guessing mid-27, but then Kumail Nanjiani is talking about how like it's still a couple of years away, and it's like, what?
Well,
couple of years.
Finish your thought, but this opens another discussion. But go ahead.
Well, it's just like no wonder. Like you're like people don't care now. Like and it's getting like this sort of length of time, especially if it's a sequel sort of a situation like Elder Scrolls. I mean, who like it's been 15 years. Like nothing can live up to the hype now. Like we have
Yeah,
and especially when it was such a huge game. It wasn't like it was a game that did okay. And now we have the new sequel coming out. Like, no, this game was enormous, and people love it, and people have played it on literally every system that has come out subsequently from its release. Like, yeah, like I, how can it live up to it? I don't know, but now we have these like Naughty Dog here, where I, especially with all the failures Sony's been having, I'm sure they are real anxious to get that thing moving.
Well, especially when they have invested huge amounts of money into this company, and they're like, "It's been years. You have to produce something." And that's the funny thing. Like, this came to mind when putting sort of stuff together for today's podcast, because I was like, you know, you have this contrast between, because whatever the discussion is about games being art and stuff, though I consider they are art because they're a creative endeavor. You have the conflict between you have to produce a game that gives money. Like, you have to produce something of value to earn revenue. And then also I'm creating something of an artistic endeavor. And then it's like, well, you can't push art. You have to give it time and stuff. It's like, yeah, but companies like Sony don't owe Naughty Dog just infinite investment time and money to explore their art. They have to produce a product of some value at some time in some way. And like, eventually you can't just, I get to work on Heretic Prophet forever until I'm pleased with the end product. Like, that's not how this works. And as much as people might roll their eyes at like the base, I guess, capitalist consumerism aspect to it, but it's like, this isn't like the patron system of Leonardo da Vinci, where they're just, whatever you produce I'm happy with as long as you get to pursue your art because I'm wealthy aristocrat. Like, you have to make something of value that we can sell and push out as a product. You don't just get to sit there and explore to your heart's content your artistic endeavor and then learn more about yourself and the condition of humanity while you produce nothing. You can't just sit there and keep making game forever. It's like, well, when is this game coming out? Well, when it's ready, because we're spending our time. We really want this to be an experience or whatever. It's like, oh, suck a big one. You can't just expect Sony to keep forking out money so that you can have comfortable lifestyles for part of a decade, like 7, 8. Like, there have been some games, what was it, Concord, that lasted 8 years in its development and was a 100% failure. 100%. All of that money is gone. It is one of the worst failures in gaming history that no one should ever forget. Concord is a crash and burn of Titanic proportions, where everybody dies and Rose gets to survive watching Jack sink into the water. and we're supposed to be like, wow, we're producing our art and stuff, and you got to give us time to be artsy. And it's like, at some point you need just cynical capitalist man smoking cigar being like, get this shit out, make money, or you don't get to have job. Like, I don't know why this is so difficult for some people to understand. Well, you got to let them. These companies don't have infinite money or can just burn hundreds of millions of dollars for fun. And Bungie at this point might just be a setting on fire $3.7 billion for Sony.
Yeah.
Just burning it.
Yeah. Well, and there's an aspect too in like a couple of things. There's an aspect in when gamers talk about the gaming industry. And I remember this being a thing for years and years. I mean, decade and a half, 2 decades, where big corporation publisher, your EAs, your Activisions, whatever. Sometimes your Ubisofts, although they're kind of a different beast. But like, oh, they're meddling, like they're always meddling and ruining these developers' good work and all this stuff and blah blah blah. And look, I am not saying that has not been a thing. It absolutely has, demonstrably so. Like it's been a thing. However, we like this let them cook attitude with these fucking artistic type developers. Like at some point, they have shown us they make shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just make shit. Not all of them. I mean, because we've seen what the bummed out left their job at big company developers can create. Your Expedition 33s, for example. They left Ubisoft because they wanted to make this game. Ubisoft wasn't interested, so they went and did their own thing. And look at this huge success for this. I mean, I get what would it be, like a AA game?
Yeah.
Made for tens of millions of dollars, not hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's the kind of stuff that you like. But look at I would also wager the development time was not that long, number one, compared to things like Intergalactic or, God forbid, Elder Scrolls 6 or all this other shit. I mean, Rhett and Jason, do you remember back when, in the 90s, I don't remember hearing about this, when, like, a game, like, I remember hearing that, like, people were commenting in the gaming magazines when Elder Scrolls 2 was being developed, Daggerfall, that, like, oh man, 2 years. Like, they must have feature creep going on bad. Like, this is a bad sign. That's such a long development time.
Oh, it'll get so much worse, you guys.
Oh, dude. And it's like, but at the time, you got to figure it was like usually a year and a half at most between games. Yeah. I mean, they were cranking shit out back then. And, now, God, we would beg for a 2-year turnover. Beg.
This reminds me of, because it's a give and take. Some studios need less reins pulled on, and some studios need a lot more. It reminds me of Lucas, where it's like Lucas without any checks is worse than Lucas with somebody looking over his shoulder.
Yeah. Yes.
When he could make whatever he wanted to, we got Attack of the Clones. When people were keeping an eye on him because they had the purse strings, we got the best trilogy of sci-fi ever.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just really, it's a balance. Everything is a balance at the end of the day. Like, I get it. Obviously, we have seen what long-term Microsoft ideals. Like, famously, Mario Donovan said that Bungie left Microsoft, like, after they split ways, left Halo behind at Microsoft, and then went and did their own thing, creating Destiny, so on. Like, we got out of Microsoft, we did not get the Microsoft out of Bungie. And frankly, I mean, he doesn't say this, but we can assume he means Pete Parsons, because we know Pete Parsons was one of the guys that was shifted over from Microsoft to Bungie around, like, the between Halo 1 and 2 era. And we can see, he may have a major hand in fucking all this shit up. Like, there's a distinct possibility. Yep. Perhaps not creatively, but certainly in a leadership, a culture, a spending aspect of it. And so I get it. Like, there does need to be a balance. Like the artists need to be artists. Like, they are not plumbers. They are not certified electricians. Like, they are people who create art, and they're not all the same. You can't plug and play. But at the same time, money don't come from nothing. We got to sell this thing. Like, and it
as if they're owed the opportunity to explore their art, and then just big corporation just needs to keep spending money so that you can just explore your artistic endeavor. It's not only how self-absorbed are you to think that Sony just gets to keep forking out money so you can explore what you want to, but on top of that, you're not even that good. Like,
no. And that's the other thing too, with these live service games. Like, yes, there is an aspect of, at least you are always in the forefront of, like, the zeitgeist or gamers' minds, that sort of thing. Like, you're fresh, right? You're fresh in people's minds. People are playing your stuff till the next thing comes out. Like, theoretically, right? In theory, and that's great. However, As we all know here, has Destiny 2 had the easiest ride since launch? Have people always been super happy with what they've been doing?
Oh, definitely
Hell
not.
no. Absolutely not. I mean, number one, the vaulting of content never to be seen again aspect should be criminal, to be perfectly honest. Like, it's unfortunate that
The Game Preservation Society is really upset about those sorts of things.
and they should be, because, like, I mean, there should be better consumer protection in the world. I mean, look, I get it. Like, stuff moves on. You can only have like so much, like this game take up so much file space. Blah blah blah. But I should have the option to download the vaulted stuff and fucking play it. I should. I should have that option.
But
they
since
don't.
they paid for it.
Well, damn right. You know, it wasn't like it was a free update. Like that was paid for expansion material. And then on top of that, you have like bad expansions, art theft, not just the one from Marathon, but like multiple like theft of art with Bungie. Like all these things have hurt their reputation. And you know, now Rhett brought this up before we started, and I thought, like, I moved the story up just because I think it's interesting. They're like talking about keeping yourself in like the mind of gamers and like fresh. Like apparently Witcher 3 is getting a new DLC.
Really?
Which is a
13
12-year-old game?
11 years after its second expansion, 12 years after its launch.
Yeah, which is
That's
crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
That I mean, and that DLC isn't coming out this year. That's coming out next year, right? Which means the Witcher 4 is going to probably be out the year after that. Which this is all very blatantly to me being we got to keep something. We got to get it back in people's minds. Witcher. We got to keep it because the shows fucking suck now and are done.
The brand is kind of damaged at this point.
Yeah.
And
that's actually something that came to mind as a problem that the industry hasn't yet addressed. That to me, until we talked about it, it hadn't come to my mind that this was a problem for the industry. Is that lag between games? They're spending so much time now to build their next game that, like you said, they're sitting here going, "Okay, you remember Witcher 3?" And they have to then get people's attention back because we're going for at least a decade now between game launches for some of these major AAA titles.
Yeah.
Well, you can get to the point where people are forgetting about about the games and the product.
Yeah. And it's not like it's 2019 and Witcher Season 1 is just launched. We are now in 2026 and Witcher's over and it fucking sucked at the end.
Well, what are you talking about? We had the new guy playing Witcher, and we also had that one Witcher show with the mega diverse, super gay people.
The rats?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
was it Witcher Blood something?
Oh yeah, you have the Blood origin, and then you have the rats one too. Yeah, and like you have this problem with the Naughty Dog properties too, where
people are forgetting Last of Us, and you go, yeah, but the show, and it's like, yeah, but people hated season 2, bro.
Like, people like season 1 just like they liked the first game. Turns out they really don't like the story of the second game because they hated season 2 as well.
Yeah,
like, stinky.
And people will forget about the Last of Us until we, and then they're going to be like, yeah, remember Last of Us? You all like that? It's like people. I mean, whatever you think of Last of Us Game 2, and I realize the second game is super, there's a lot of drama and controversy. Well, I actually liked it and all of the chuds. It's like, okay, set that aside. That people didn't like it, and it wasn't as loved as the first game. So now you're riding on a brand that's been damaged because the reputation of the brand isn't what it used to be. And it's unfortunate because the first game was so good. And then we have to sit on a second game that was so controversial that it damaged the value of Naughty Dog itself. Like, I don't trust Naughty Dog as a company at all. I'm not their day one for any of their products because of how much I hated the second Last of Us game. And you can't recover easily from these sorts of things. It's funny, I was listening to a clip from last week's podcast, and it's like with Star Wars, it's like it feels like I'm a battered wife who keeps thinking that my husband's going to change.
Right.
It's like, no, he said he'd get better. He said he'd stop hitting me. And then my stupid bruised face keeps showing up the next day. It's like, no, I think it'll get better. I think it'll be fine.
Well, and you know what I just thought of too, Rhett?
What's that?
There's an aspect too, like think of the Elder Scrolls. Like people, like even if you have really good, like oh man, Elder Scrolls 5 was so good, I loved it. I'm so excited for Elder Scrolls 6. Especially if you're talking PC players, what version of Elder Scrolls 5? Are they talking their super modded, highly optimized version? Are they forgetting the buggy mess that is a Bethesda launch game?
Every Bethesda launch game, the perpetually broken Morrowind on Xbox.
Yeah, so like even if like in their case specifically, like the Bethesda's case, like even if they they have a somewhat timely launch, let's say only 7 years distance, or even 8, or even 10 at this point, and like everyone's like, oh man, Elder Scrolls 5 was so good, this and that, and then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot, Bethesda, never mind, I'm pissed now, I'm mad I paid money at launch for this. Oh God!
How quick brands lose their value? Because there was a time when like the biggest companies was like Bethesda, Bungie, BioWare, Blizzard, ironically all Bs, and suddenly those companies don't remotely have the value that they used to.
No.
And how quickly though, and it's like, oh, and a lot of people are sitting there mourning. It's like, oh, I remember how big Bungie games were and how much they meant to me and stuff. It's like, go far enough back. I mean, Midway was the dominant arcade game producer. But like they were so overwhelmingly dominant. They made the best arcade games and blah, blah. And it's like, nobody gives a crap about Midway anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's been broken up and sold a million different ways.
And if you look at this in a long enough time span, it's like, yeah, the things you love will die and no one will care eventually.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Do you, Rhett and Jason, I don't think Silver, I mean, you're...
You know what? Silver doesn't think and nobody cares about her opinions. Anyway, go ahead.
But, all right.
What, you going to say something, Silver? Huh? You can insert your opinions into this podcast? Huh, champ?
No.
Good.
Oh.
Women should be in the kitchen making me sandwiches.
Oh,
Okay.
Misogyny for the win. Anyway, go ahead, Rob.
Do you remember Guns N' Roses' 6th studio album, Chinese Democracy?
No.
Really?
I remember that being such a hugely like pumped up, because it was like a long time in development. Like it's like development spanned over a decade. And apparently they spent $13 million making that fucking album. And the most hilarious thing about that is, the thing I remember the most about that album is there being like 80 copies in a Best Buy. And and this is like a year later, like they just didn't sell. Nobody gave a crap about that album. And it just I think like these game development companies kind of reach this point of like, hey, remember that band you really loved? They don't make anything like you remember, but hey, you want to buy it? Like, oh.
I remember when Rolling Stones was coming out with the Babylon album, and I remember how big a talk it was. It's like, oh, the first album for years and stuff. And I can't remember how young I was. But then I saw it hit, because like the hype actually hit me and I heard about it. And I wasn't even a Rolling Stones guy. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll try the album or buy it. I never did buy it. Like, it wasn't good.
No. People like the biggest thing because I think I remember my family, someone in my family, maybe multiple people, went and saw them live because of that album tour. They weren't going for that album.
No, of course not.
No, well, the curse of being a classic band that had wins. You go to listen to them, it's like, we want to play stuff from our new album, and everyone's like, Play the classics,
Those.
idiot. No one wants to hear your new shitty song.
I want to hear "Get Off My Cloud," you dumbass. Like, where's?
Screw you,
Where's the
Oasis. I
Painted
want to hear
Black?
Wonderwall. You play anything.
damn it.
You play anything new, and I'm going to throw rocks at your head.
I will start a riot. God damn it!
It's just the curse of a band. They got it. They always got to
Yeah,
play their
yeah.
big hits. They just do. Right,
Well,
Silver?
that's what everybody wants from them. They want the big hits. Same with video game companies.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you'll
and I-
never
and
be
I
able
get
to
it.
recreate it. It's
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we have the Master, the Halo Combat. What do they call it? Combat Evolved. Like the remake of Halo 1 coming out, and it's like, who cares? Like
Yeah, at this
I
point,
can, like, unless you're on PlayStation, like then it makes some sense, I guess. But honestly, just buy an Xbox One, like the 8th generation console for real cheap somewhere, and play the Master Chief Collection and play the old one. Like,
yeah.
it's like, honestly, it holds up really well. Like, of all the games from that era, Halo 1 holds up shockingly well.
yeah,
And
pacing.
just play
and
that.
It was a solid
gameplay.
game. It had to be.
Yeah, and it's not overly long. Like, just it's so good. Just go play that, and you can buy an Xbox One for a little bit of nothing. Same with the Master Chief Collection, and just play that, because there's nothing in that game that speaks to me at all. Granted, I'm a curmudgeonly millennial who grew up with Halo, but dude, you save yourself some money and some aggravation and just play the good original game.
How about some commentary from our Overlord, Silver? Get it? Ovaries? Because women?
We
You
came
get
up
it?
with another, and I can't remember what it is, and it's annoying me.
Do you remember the
Um,
wrestlers we made up? The women wrestler names?
Yeah, there was one other we did, and I can't remember
No,
what
there
it
was
was.
like 2 or 3 others. What was it? Misogynistic?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Overlord, and there was another one that you made up. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember that one.
Yeah.
The misogynistic one was just my alter ego that I formatted for us.
That's Silver's alter ego. Well, what do
It's
you think?
beautiful.
What do you think about the situation in gaming so far? What's your reaction to the conversation?
As I have not been in the gaming world for as long as you two, and you've seen the change, I can see how it would be much more devastating to you guys, but
Sure.
to me, I'm just like, it's always been like this. Live it.
Well, I got a longer perspective over time. I
You knew the good history, I didn't.
What?
You knew when things were better, you know. My gosh, they want to make good games, and no.
It ebbs and
I've
flows.
The thing
Yeah.
is that some of us were around long enough for the original ET video game for the Atari that almost crashed the entire industry too.
You poor thing.
Some of us are aging rapidly.
Yep.
Silver.
Oh,
Well, shut up. You're old.
oh,
Nailed it.
nailed it. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
The thing is that yes, we've been around. Yes, it was better. I mean, there's never really been in my mind an era that was all the games were 100%. But it seems like this era, we just can't get any wins. You know what I mean?
not necessarily.
Or
It's
they're
just
so
all
few and far between.
it's all the indie stuff, which is why I was sort of
Yeah.
trying to get Silver's perspective. We'll spin back to the kaiju.
Ugh.
You like game? Game fun for you? What game you like?
Some game fun.
What game like Silver? Silver, what game?
Uh,
You like Silk Song? Silk Song fun?
just gonna say Skyrim and spiral back into that conversation.
Silksong more new than Skyrim.
Yes, Silksong more new. Silksong good.
Silksong good. Ooh.
Lost Game Pass privilege. No more Silksong.
Sad, silver sad.
Silver sad.
Kaiju noises.
Silver sad.
Silver sad.
All right, well.
It seems like this is the culmination of all these formerly like heavy hitter, like great large studios coming like to their like being dragged to their knees all at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of crash in here.
You know, like your Ubisofts, your Blizzards. I mean, like Infinity Ward and Activision and all their kind of stuff.
Previously unstoppable giant studios crashing like. There's a lot of comeuppance coming down the road of you can't keep spending like this and then have guaranteed wins. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, like you need to focus more.
I just had a thought, and I'm wondering what you think about it. So, one of the issues that I see is that one, they're trying to. It seems like they're trying to make games longer and longer. Or they're chasing trends. So we have a live service game that does really well, and so the next company comes along and says, well, we need to mimic that. So there's either this...
I think you're close. I don't think they're trying to make it longer, but you are right about the chasing trends. But the problem with the chasing trends is trends are constantly changing. So when live service is really hype, like extraction shooter, and then we finally get years later extraction shooter, and it's like, that's old now. Because the incubation period in games is too long, which is sort of the initial premise of the conversation of games are weird because they take a lot, especially AAA, because AAA's, I mean, AA, they could produce a game in a year and it will be fun. But AAA, like the incubation period, like 6-7 years is ridiculous, especially when gaming is so subject to what's hot and trendy and interesting today. Not
right.
And trying to anticipate that half a decade later, more is ridiculous strategy, and then hoping people will still be into live service, whatever. Because think about the biggest failures we've had recently, all live service games.
Yeah,
Concord, Marathon.
And the thing is that that's kind of one of the things that I was wondering about with the. I'm not necessarily saying that the length of the games themselves is what the issue is, but it seems to me that obviously the longer that you're making a game, the more time you're going to be spending in development on that game. You know, a game that you can finish in 60 hours is going to take a lot less resources and et cetera, to build than a game that takes you 100 hours to complete.
Not necessarily. You could have repetitive missions. One of the funny things with cost, I mean, look at Mixtape. That cost more than it should, and it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
I think the time spent with the game is more what they're focused on, because we're not really even talking about single player experiences anymore, because those are out the window. Those don't earn money. And I know this might be a shock to some of you who spend their time with single player games. The vast majority of the money, the vast majority of the money that consoles, gaming in general, take in are these live service games. So it's not even about how long is the campaign. It's like, how long can we keep them continually playing our game? Can we keep coming out with new content? Can we keep them in the game? Because the longer they're still playing Destiny, still going through stuff, still playing with their friends, the more time that they're going to want to maybe spend a little money here for V-Bucks, or spend a little money here for a skin, or spend a little money here. I got to get the DLC because my friends are going to play the DLC. Or they just need to keep them in that universe. This is why GTA Online works so well, is because they kept coming out with little updates. And then it's like, ooh, cool car. cool skin, cool thing. I want to be the guy with the latest cool car or a boat or whatever nonsense or bullshit that they're nickel and diming you over and over and over again over nonsense purchases. But in your head, you go, well, it's not that big a purchase. It's like $10 or it's like $15. And it's like, yeah, but then add that on to how much you paid for the game. And it's like suddenly the game is $100 game because all the little purchases,
Right.
or it's more. So, I mean, the funny thing is we're coming from a weird older perspective where it's like, well, I mean, it takes a lot of money to make a 60 hour game. It's like, that's not even a calculation. It is how much time can we get them to stay continually in it so that they keep adding on these microtransactions, keep adding on sort of minor purchases over time, because that's where almost all of their money is coming from today in gaming. It's not single purchases of adventures or campaigns in an RPG. No, that is not even remotely a thing anymore.
Well, this actually reminds me of when we were playing DC Online. We weren't even considering playing DC Online. It wasn't even on our radar because DC Online was not a free-to-play game. And then DC Online went free-to-play. And apparently, so we started playing, we had a great time. But apparently when DC Online switched from a pay-to-play to a free-to-play model, they started making money off of that game.
Well, they made way more
Because
money
people were
as free to.
purchasing.
It's not even apparently they made way more money as a free to play than they did as a game that cost.
Yeah. And it was because of what you said. People were buying skins and they were buying, they were making little purchases. It was $5 here, a $1.99 there. It wasn't you have to pay $60 to get this game and then.
Well, you're getting money out of people that weren't going to spend the money. So at least they're playing the game, and the more time they spend in the game, the more they're willing to like, well, I want to get a little thing or this little thing or whatever.
Right.
Keeping them there, adding more purchases on top of it is more important than that single purchase and then you're in.
Right. And that's one of the problems with those live service games is we can't play every single live service game. Just can't. There's too many of them. And we can't devote the same amount of money to all the live service games. And so that's part of that trend chasing that's really a problem.
Well, yeah, but it's really just you capture an audience and you keep them there. Most people aren't like selectively like tasting different stuff. Like I play a lot of different games over the week. Like I might play, I'm playing Wind Waker, and then what else am I playing? The Mario Brothers Wii or whatever. Like that's like, and people have the game they play every week after school with their friends. Like that's the game.
Right.
Play. It's not just they're jumping around. It's just all of my friends are in this game. And that used to be the thing that happened with like the shooters, where it's like, we're all playing this COD, and then new shooter comes out, and then everybody just migrates over. They're not splitting their time. They're just focused on the one thing that they're all playing. So GTA, we're all just GTA for now. And then maybe GTA's out, and it's like, we're all, I don't know, whatever, Modern Warfare, blah, blah, blah. But like that's why the live shooter games, it's like we can all sort of capture them in our environment, in our little bubble, and then keep them there. No one's jumping around.
Right. And who's going to jump off of, say Fortnite right now and move to a different live service game?
Especially when you've invested lots of money into your skins and unlockables and blah, blah, blah.
You've got to dethrone Fortnite first.
No, you're just asking for a piece of the pie. No one's dethroning Fortnite. You're just trying to draw. You're trying to draw attention. I mean, it's funny because the biggest failures have been these live service games, but they're not irrational decisions because live service games are the biggest money makers. those are where all of the money goes. So it's not irrational to be like, Bungie making a marathon game, this big live service game. But the problem is trends and attitudes shift. Here's a dirty little secret. As much as I make fun of Bungie with their failures and laugh and point or whatever, I haven't played Marathon. It might be fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know it's not drawing people. It's either stale or it's bad or whatever. Like Concord genuinely was just like bad. Like it could have even been fun, but like the characters were bad and cringy and the art style was bad and cringy. But like Marathon might be good. Like I don't know. But that's not the point. It's not interesting enough to drag people from the already invested live service game or whatever that they're invested in. It's like, why would I move to Marathon? I've already got huge amounts of skins and stuff with my Fortnite, and my friends are still playing Fortnite, or maybe currently we're playing COD. And that's like historically it was funny. A new shooter comes out, and Ross could attest to this. Then everybody migrates to the new shooter, and then the previous shooters servers are now dead because everybody's moved to the new game that came out. Like that was the trend, and now it's just a live service thing.
I mean, eventually somebody will dethrone Fortnite.
Well, yeah, eventually, yeah. It just like or just the live service thing will die. What makes you think it's going to be you? Well, see, that's fair. It's funny forever with MMOs, World of Warcraft was just the dominant thing. And it's like, who's going to be the new World of Warcraft? But nobody could beat it.
Oh, yeah.
But eventually MMOs just kind of died. So it's not about being the next World of Warcraft. It's about being the new trend at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, the thing that dethrones Fortnite will not be trying to dethrone Fortnite. It'll be doing whatever it's trying to do. Yeah.
It'll be the new cool thing. It'll be the what's after extraction shooter or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could be that we go back to a previously forgotten genre or something at that point.
It's possible, yeah.
Point and click adventure games.
That's not possible.
Oh.
Here comes
That's not gonna do. Yeah, suddenly we're all the return of Westwood Studios and Command and Conquer real-time strategy. Suddenly, the most played game in the world right now is Hearts of Iron.
Here comes King's Quest 11.
Everybody's what's that?
I do miss games that don't require like ridiculous computer specs.
Yeah.
You need the brand new thing for the new game, and it's just ridiculous, or else it just runs like garbage.
Well,
it's very annoying.
Everybody forgets 20 years ago, it became a meme. The most frequently asked question when it came to E3 or some new game release announcement or whatever. What was the most asked question? What were the graphics like?
Yeah.
Because that was the one measure people had of, did they spend a lot of money on it? Is it really good looking? Because it was almost taken for granted that it's like, oh, it'll be fun or game or whatever. What were the graphics like was memeably the most ironically brought up constant sort of thing when it came to every new release and every new game. E3 announcement was like, whoa, were the graphics really good? And we're at the point now where the bell curve is flattened out and there's no, like, graphics aren't the major push when it comes to the success of a game. Because it's like everything looks good. And when they show me a new bit of technology and it's like, look at what we can do, and I can't tell whether or not it's really that better looking than a game that came out 10 years ago, it's not that big a deal anymore. And what's more important is it fun? Is it an enjoyable experience? Are you gonna have a great time? You can even go retro style in your graphics and whatnot. It's like, yeah, I'm having a good time. It doesn't take a lot of graphics. It doesn't take a lot of hardware power. How intensive it is to your hardware is no longer the push anymore. Like you used to be able to brag that my computer could run the latest whatever, like Doom 3.
Yes.
When Crysis came out, basically people were saying that there wasn't a computer built yet that could run it at its top specs.
Yeah, it was used as
Yeah.
the measuring stick as to whether or not
Yeah.
your
the
computer was good.
benchmark.
It could run What was the meme? Can it run Crisis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Was the joke. But the funny thing about Crisis is it was horrifically managed. It was way too intensive for the graphics and the RAM and the processor and all of that stuff. Like, it was very poorly optimized is the word I was looking for. So it wasn't even
yes.
then, can it run Crisis? Because it's like, is your computer so good that Crisis is really shitty programming doesn't collapse your processor? Are you getting graphical glitches and artifacting because Crisis is so horrifically optimized that it's not trying to melt your computer? Because they used to, it's like, oh, it's the benchmark. It's like, yeah, benchmark for bad programming.
Well, and we're at that now, where it's like games are just like super greedy for like no good discernible reason. Like,
way too
we
big.
need to get back to like much less greedy games. Like, they need to be much better optimized, and we'll see, maybe. But Jesus.
I mean, some of that I think is down to the development itself. It used to be that you could spend time building the game and testing it and making sure it worked and all that other stuff. And now, the development cycle for some of these games is like we've been saying, it's pushing 10 plus years now to get a game out.
And they're still busted.
And they're still busted because they're trying to cut every single corner possible. And I think a lot of that comes down to, well, we're not even going to try to optimize this as best we can because we just need to get this out.
Yeah, there's also an aspect too, as more and more games use Unreal, like plug and play stuff, and Unreal becomes less and less optimized itself. It's just, I think it's going to get worse. And on top of that, the days of the development company being like this core group of people who are like, yeah, people come and go, like you add more, as you get bigger or whatever, but like that core group sticks around, so the engine you're using inside and out, this, and like all the ins and outs of all this stuff. Like now, as we've seen horrifically from 343, it's just hiring on contract players in and out. They're on for 18 months, 2 years, and they're gone. So nobody. Like, I have been working on this aspect of this game from the beginning. I know it forwards and backwards, like in my sleep. No, I worked on this, I've left, and now somebody else is gonna have to pick up the ball and take it to the finish line. Like, they got to get it.
I was there for the first part of the development. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, which creates, I think, some horrific technical debt as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, that's the story with the Slipspace engine that 343 was using. Now Halo Studios, I guess, so they're supposedly going over to Unreal, was that the technical debt was just outrageous, which is why, like, things didn't work in Halo Infinite. They were completely busted. Number one, they were using an engine that was not meant to be open world, and number two, they had tinkered with that engine and worked on it in this really sloppy way for so long that nobody really understood what it was anymore. And that's a problem.
Was it Bethesda that kept using the same engine over and over again to the point where it's like they got to move on?
Yeah, to this day, yes.
It's busted. Like, it's so heavily modified at this point that it's like, just make a new engine, you guys.
Yeah, the Creation engine, which it's derived from the Gamebryo engine, which is from Morrowind. That's the thing that brought Bethesda from sprites and stuff to 3D. That's how old that is. So, just keep working on it. It'll be fine. The old girl's still working.
You know what's funny? There's a foreseeable future where people start to lean on AI to shorten development times. And then you have a problem where stuff gets so busted and nobody can figure out how to fix the code because the code's so complicated because it's all AI generated.
That's actually something that I've talked about with people, and they're trying to get ahead of that in some places. I don't know if it's going to extend to some of these companies. They seem to like to cut corners.
No. What?
Ah,
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's alarming. Really, I'm so
yeah. The
shocked.
people I've talked to have said things like, "We don't
Ross
care
is
if you code
sarcastic.
it or the you get help with the AI coding it, but you better darn well know what that code is doing before you put it into the program, because if it breaks, that's your fault."
Yeah. Interesting. I
I think some of
yeah.
it has also come down to the fact that originally you couldn't really ship out a game broken, because it would blow up in your face immediately if the game was broken on launch.
Yeah.
Well, there was sort
Yeah.
of a reason for that. The last video game launch with the Atari era, you had so much
Yeah,
bloatware and so many busted things that in order
Mhm.
to rebuild video games, Nintendo had this gimmick of Nintendo seal of approval to guarantee that the
right,
game
Yeah.
is not busted. And that seal of
right.
approval became a trend in the gaming industry where it's like when it shipped, it better be fine. But now that we've added like internet connectivity and updates, I mean, we have
Uh-huh.
games on Steam that have been out for years and years that are still not full releases.
Right.
Because they're just like, well, I'll just, the players will quality test and we'll fix things down the road. Every game is slightly busted at launch now, and we just have to
Yeah.
live with it. This is the world we live in now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's a problem. We need the game companies should be ashamed of themselves
Oh, no,
for
they
launching
don't
something
feel
in a
shame. They don't
busted.
have that
No,
capacity,
they don't.
Jason.
I know.
That's an emotion that
I
they
know
don't
I know they're
understand.
shameless.
It's not just shameless. They're not just like skeevy guys hanging out in an alley. I just think they haven't uploaded that emotion and it doesn't compute.
What is shame?
We're
No
supposed to feel
understand
bad for a
shame.
busted game? No understand.
But
Yeah,
they give
exactly.
money. I take money, they have game. What wrong?
Only fix when people complain over a long period of time and sufficient Twitter engagement.
Steam review go down? Problem. Until
There's
then, no.
there's a problem with
We'll
the
fix the game, but only after we get um 2,000 likes on our Twitter page.
Mm.
well, there was a complaint.
More like 200,000,
There was
excuse me.
there was a complaint for years and years that as Total War Warhammer, they keep adding new ones. The load
Yes.
times have gotten ridiculous between like turns to the
Yes.
point where there were like modders who were fixing it because the studio was unable or unwilling to fix the load time issue. And they finally were able to fix it sort of later down the road. I think it was in 3. And everyone's like, "Oh, finally the game plays functionally." And it's like you weren't there for Total War Warhammer 1 and 2 of just horrific load times and bad issues. They finally fix it in the 3rd one? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Thanks, Creative Assembly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Old Sega over here.
Mm.
And this is something else that's an issue for us. It's like, this should have tanked the company. It should have gone
No.
under for something like this.
Consumers don't hold them account for anything anymore.
Nope.
Nobody's like, well, I'm going to stick to my guns. I ain't buying this product. And it's like, yeah, but everybody's playing it, and FOMO is a real problem. And so everybody's got to. Silver knows she's desperate for attention and trends.
Why should
Oh yeah,
She
I'm
rolls.
What?
Yeah. Got to scramble. Hey, Silver, what does a baby computer call its father?
That's
I don't
easy. Come
know.
on.
I
Data.
don't know.
Actually, this was a
Random, I'm
serious
like,
point. This is no. This is. I'm just sharing information. This is actually what a baby computer calls his father. There's just no joke in there.
Oh, okay. I see.
They have become sentient, even though there's now an internet trend to be upset with people for calling them clankers like they're real people. It's like they're bigoted. It's like they're not real. And
Doesn't have feelings.
in fact, when AI does take over, I'm going to be super bigoted.
Oh, they don't even know what's coming to them.
I mean, computer
They're
racism
literally
is going to be a thing.
Yeah, second-class citizens, right
Well,
there.
I was making up. What was that song? Is the video killed the radio star? And I just kept it going, like in my head the other day. I was like, "Video killed the radio star. Internet killed the video star. Implants killed the internet star. AI killed the implant star. Neo killed the the AI."
Dear
It just
Lord.
evolves.
I love it.
Yeah. Can Elder Strix? I guess here's our final conclusion of the discussion, which has been interesting, as opposed to highly structured, because Rhett has to preach because he's super important. But I'm going to start with Silver. Like, can the next Elder Scrolls or GTA? But you don't play GTA because you don't care. But can the next Elder Scrolls? Because you played a lot of Skyrim. Do you think there's a chance that it could live up to not just Skyrim, but because there's been so much time since Skyrim came out that there's probably too much expectation that Elder Scrolls 6 has got to basically cure cancer or it's a disappointment? Like, can it live up to the hype or can it at least live in the shadow of Skyrim? Because Skyrim was just absurdly dominant for its time.
I do not think it can live up to it. I mean, we've seen other games from the same people come out, and it's like, even if it's not Skyrim or Elder Scrolls, it does not even come close or match up to it. I think the only way that maybe it could is if you hire people that know the game. You know, like the top modders or something. I think they could help make the game really good.
There was
but they're not going to do that.
There was a game recently that came out with a DLC that was made by the top modders for that game. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Is that like Kerbal Space Program did something
Well,
like
that
that?
happens all. Yeah. It was something more recent, but yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Jason, about our problem with the down the road? Because GTA was supposed to come out now. Now it's pushed to November, but it's like we're looking at problems where it's like, is it even gonna? Or people just gonna be disappointed out the gate?
I think they've got an uphill battle here, and that the most likely scenario here is that there's going to be huge disappointment when this game finally releases. I just don't think that maybe there is always a possibility that people will love the game and it will be bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5. But at this point, with as much hype and expectation and everything, I just think it's going to be a huge disappointment for people, and that's what we're going to that's what we're going to see in November when it finally drops.
And that's not to say that it's probably going to sell really well. Like,
it might. Yeah,
I'm surprised. First month.
I'm surprised Bond is selling well. I didn't think the brand was still valuable.
And probably not.
No, Bond did sell well. The new Bond games sold really well. I'm surprised. I didn't think there was any value left in James Bond, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, yeah, it's pretty baffling to me.
I don't know. It seems to me that with the way that video games work nowadays, yeah, there's going to be a ton of people that are going to be pre-ordering this thing or have already done so. And so, yeah, they're going to get a lot of money from it, but I think it's going to be a huge disappointment.
Every new game is a Peter Molyneux paradox where he overpromises and it always underdelivers. I miss Peter Molyneux in the gaming sphere. I wanted some guy just making absurd promises.
You had to wonder what was going through the devs' heads when he was up on stage.
Oh, he had an idea and a dream, that Peter. And the funny thing is, it's not like he was an unlikable person. It's just
No.
he promised absurdities.
Oh yeah, I remember Fable was that you can plant a tree and see it grow.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's like that's not in
alright.
the game. You know what's the only other game in recent memory that kind of had that problem was how was it, that space one?
Oh, hold on, I'll tell
Where
you.
you travel across space and you do that. I played it a lot.
Oh,
and
No
I
Man's
don't remember-
Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
It way
Yeah.
overpromised
Oh yeah.
and never lived up to its. Oh, you do all this other. It's like none of that's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the funny thing is, like, it had a comeback. Like, they keep releasing new expansions, and it's done well for itself. But
Yeah.
that first like year was brutal.
Oh, it was raked through coals, but like justifiably.
Yeah, it was not ready.
Don't overpromise unless you're Peter Molyneux, because then they're like, "Oh, Peter, none of that's going to be in the game."
Peter.
Well, because they just kind of waved it off because Peter Molyneux was such a psycho, they got used to it. It's like, yeah, we heard you with Fable 1. Like, we're still going to play the new Fable, but all of us don't buy that anything's going to be
Buy
in there.
what you're selling.
Well, Fable got
Yeah.
pushed back. The date. It's now in February because they don't want it to compete with the GTA.
Yeah, they're so nervous about GTA,
Well, Fable's
which is
dead
something
on
we've talked about
arrival.
before.
Yeah. Fable's dead on arrival. Like, I don't, unless it's amazingly fun. It was funny. We were speculating. It's like, okay, well, how do you make, let's say Fable's busted. How do you fix it with the amount of time you have left? And it's like the argument is lie to them and come out with trailers that make the game seem different than everybody thinks it is. That's
Yeah.
the only way to get your sales.
That's
Look,
all
you're
you
doing
can
all this
do.
cool combat and stuff. We're not going to show that fugly lady's face anymore. We're just not going to do that.
That's not happening, pal.
David Iowati, David who?
Yeah, Richard's gone. Wait, where is he? We killed him in the game, not in real life, but he's done.
Yeah, this just put like hyper Chad music in it or stuff, and like you're just stabbing people the whole trailer. Look at our new game. This is not the game you were advertising before. Yeah, well, we don't care anymore. That, and I think
Yeah, we
people
made
are
it
over.
better.
Well, I think people are over the Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn writing everybody's quippy thing.
Oh yeah,
And that's sort of the game we were getting with Fable. It really is.
yeah.
Everything's quippy and attitudey and what. I was like, oh, shut up, James Gunn. You can't write Superman. You're not as good as you think you are.
No, he's really good. He figured it out because of the dog.
Yeah, well, the Supergirl's all about the dog now. I mean, good lord.
Uh,
All right, wrap up your thoughts, and let's talk about Supergirl after that. But go ahead, Ron.
Yeah. Look, these development times are crazy. I think chasing graphical trends is a mistake. Like, I was more immersed playing Far Cry 2, a game from 2008, which, granted, at the time was a very good-looking game, but all it did was make some plants shake and like limbs fall off it when I shot guns around it.
You can't even get
And,
that
like,
in some modern games. It's just
No, Far Cry 5 doesn't even have that. Like it's like, and that it's in the forests of Montana. Why doesn't it? But it immersed me so much. And I've watched old footage of like Bad Company 2 and Battlefield Bad Company 1. And they did the same thing in multiplayer maps, like, and how much you could destroy buildings. And people complain that, like, oh, well, you don't get as many of them, though. And it's like, yeah, but they were all interactive. Whereas, like, look, I enjoyed my time with Battlefield 6, but it is a shadow of what former ones were. And I think I think focusing on the gameplay experience and like art design and art style is so much more important than like chasing these ridiculous trends, or whether it's in
Destructibles
writing.
was a huge trend.
It
It
was, but it was at least a trend that was pushing the technology forward, right?
Red Faction was like heavy on the destructibles, like everything had
Yeah,
to be broken and walls
yeah,
smashed and whatnot. Culminating in Levolution, which was the end of the destructible nonsense.
yeah. It all kind of, and I get it. Like it's probably a pain in the ass to develop for, and yada yada. But I miss it. Damn it, I miss when things were smaller scale but more interactive. I mean, it's a game for fuck's sake.
Well, the
And
confusing, I shot a bazooka in this house in COD, and it doesn't damage anything besides stuff on the table.
yeah, and like at least with COD, like yeah, it's an arcadey shooter, but like it's gotten that way with Battlefield, where like the level of destruction went from I could literally collapse this building on your head to yeah, like 3 walls can get blown out, but
Well,
there's still a lot of
not
cover
to
in
be
that
that
building.
guy, but it might have been perfected at Battlefield 1 and never gotten better.
Yeah, well, I think it got perfected in Bad Company 2. I think they found a balance in Battlefield 1 because the problem is in some of those, God, not to get distracted here, but the problem is with some of those maps in Bad Company 2 is you can destroy all the buildings and then the vehicles just rule the map because there's nowhere to hide. So you're just getting like, well, I am going to die now because as soon as I leave this part of the map, I there's nowhere to hide. I cannot get close enough to destroy this thing.
Well,
So
one thing I liked about Battlefield 1 is stuff was destructible, but it wasn't like immediately destructible. But it would take so much damage, it would get to the point where the trench almost doesn't exist anymore. It's like a
yes.
shallow ditch because so much like explosions and shells and whatnot have hit the same location over and over again that it's just non-existent. It's like this is not the map we started out in.
Hmm. Yeah, and it was fun, man. Like that stuff's great, and I don't know.
Summer
It
Battlefield.
definitely summer Battlefield summer. It definitely feels like there's been a major downgrade, and the long development times are hurting them as far as people caring about what they have coming, or creating too much hype, and then nothing will live up to it. I mean, this I don't know, man. Something's got to give, and I hope they can figure it out. But I think some of these companies they are going to have to eat. Look, Elder Scrolls 6 could have been mediocre if it launched 5 years after Elder Scrolls 5. It
Right.
can't be mediocre 15 years later. That
No.
doesn't work. Like you can't just shrug that off now.
Yeah, I think you have a point there. The longer the time between that game and the previous one, the more it has to basically save the world.
Hmm. Yes, which is
Uh,
bad. I mean, that sucks, man. Like that's not good. But oh well. Here we are.
let's talk about women.
New stuff online. This is the Distracted Gamers.
Right.
Connecting now.
All silver, all the time, every day. Silver podcast.
Most
What's up, you
boring
guys?
podcast.
All right,
Listen,
Silver.
hey,
We need your thoughts. So there's
Okay.
been a bunch of Supergirl drama recently with Miss Alcock, Millie Alcock. Unfortunate last name. I don't have anything against her. I didn't watch her in Game of Thrones because I don't like Game of Thrones. So I had no previously conceived notions. But the problem is when you start to speak out and have bad takes on things, now I'm establishing opinion about you, and you don't want that to be a thing. It used to be historically that you could create drama around your show and that would create buzz enough for people to show up. But now drama around your show is a negative. Like, oh, everybody's
Yeah,
attacking
yeah.
our show. It's like that is not a draw anymore. And coming out and bitching and moaning about people's attitudes towards your new movie. Be a lovely person, and so they can't really attack you. They just have to attack the studio or the company or whatever. But,
Yeah.
bad decisions across the board. According to tracking data out of the Quorum, Supergirl sits at 53% audience awareness with only 46% interest, which is apparently tracking with like the Marvels.
Oh dear.
Ouch.
Yeah. Audience interest is moving in the wrong direction. Studios generally expect awareness and audience enthusiasm to climb together as market ramps up. New trailers, TV spots, interviews, social media campaigns are supposed to generate momentum. Instead, Supergirl appears to be struggling to convert visibility into excitement.
Really? I wonder why.
That matters because early audience interest tracking can often reveal broad problems long before the movie actually hits theaters. Situation becomes more concerning when paired with a recent box office forecast from the Box Office Theory, which predicts Supergirl for an opening weekend between 47 and 65 domestically. I expect that to be lowered.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
expect that too.
Not to be cynical because I'm not happy with the James Gunn direction of the DCU, but I would be shocked if it even gets the 47 to 65 domestically opening weekend.
That would surprise me.
But those numbers immediately drew comparison online to recent superhero disappointments like the Marvels, The Flash, Black Adam, that sort of thing. A major part of the conversation surrounding Supergirl continues to revolve around Millie Alcock. The actress generated backlash online after mocking fans, pushing back against her rhetoric, noting during interviews that they're mostly Christian dads and that she's comfortable upsetting the right people. Those comments spread rapidly across social media and quickly became attached to public perception surrounding the film. Remember, her initial comments were, people feel that they own women's bodies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And now she's blaming Christian dads. It's like, when did you get the impression that Christian dads were the negative demographic attacking your film?
Well, who else will care about Supergirl, clearly?
Another interesting detail surrounding the recent marketing push is how heavily DC appears to be leaning on other recognizable characters. Recent TV spots have prominently featured David Cornsweat Superman, while promotional discussion online has increasingly focused on Jason Momoa's Lobo. That has spread led some fans to question whether or not Warner Brothers is already trying to bolster interest by emphasizing characters audiences may be more familiar with than Supergirl herself. Supergirl was a bad decision out of the gate, in my opinion, anyway. But the problem is Superman wasn't even the massive win, so we're already starting this universe in a big, shitty situation. And Supergirl seems to be, once again, about Crypto, the worst character in the DCU. Which is also really confusing. Oh my god, it seems like they're setting themselves up for failure. Like, I don't...
It's not making a lot of sense to me.
No.
I mean, at least like if Superman had made like $1 billion, it looks like, hey, we got some hype, but it's like it didn't though.
Yeah. Added to this is a recent article from the Mary Sue, and it's like, really, you're going to come out, you're going to look at an article from one of the worst websites on the internet, Easy Dunk, and it's like, yes, it is. That's why we're going to talk about it.
Correct.
10 years after Captain America's Civil War, Marvel is still letting down women. We criticize things we care about, Ross. It says your name in the article, because we want to do better. So when I say that in the decade that passed since Captain America Civil War, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has largely failed, it's female fans. Please note that I'm doing it out of love for a franchise I enjoy and care about deeply. First problem. Are they failing female fans because female fans only care about representation, Silver?
You're failing female fans because your character stinks.
See, that is a fair argument. On certain corners of the internet, certain men, not all, I like the qualifiers so you don't get called out, have dubbed later phases of the MCU the MCU for perceived overindulgence of inclusive storytelling. That's, yeah. Frankly,
Well,
I
that's
wish
what it was.
I wish I lived in their reality. From my perspective, the MCU has done an overall pretty bad job supporting and representing women on screen. Um,
What universe are you in?
I don't. How
She-Hulk,
how do we have this
the
conversation without
Marvels.
being a giant
Uh,
just complaining about things? Um, here's look. I'm going to summarize this really quickly. Modern problem with movies. Taking male brands and inserting women for the sole purpose of inclusivity. Then
Yeah.
people don't like it because the majority of audience of the male brand happens to be men. And then people don't show up to watch the movies, and then you complain that women and misogyny, when it's like, look, if women loved Marvel as much as the men do, then women-centered Marvel movies would be killing it like Barbie did. But you know why Barbie killed it? Because it catered to women. And it worked. It was successful. But why do you insist on, I also want to be on par with the men in the male franchise, and then be like, oh, men aren't interested? Did I
Especially when
surmise
they
that?
tell us this isn't for you.
Well, no, the stupid part is no one's saying you can't be into Marvel, but complaining that they failed women because I don't have enough women in it. And it's like, if you
Right.
said you liked Marvel, but you only like it based on the inclusivity, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
Right. The thing is that Marvel fans like Marvel, regardless of the fact that there is representation, or I should say, real Marvel fans. If you're just in it because of the representation, I would not classify you as a real Marvel fan.
Yeah.
And so, if you came out with a good Marvel movie, you would get men and women.
Yeah, and we don't have to. We're going to have a 40 billionth version of this conversation, but to surmise it, this is a stupid take, and you're sitting there going, "What? I love Marvel, but I don't like it because there's not enough women." Like, it's contradictory. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, from my perspective, the MCU has done an overall pretty bad job supporting representing women on screen. Like, everybody liked Black Widow. Like, she had a bad single movie.
Yeah, they made one of the worst. Yeah, one of the worst solo movies ever. But
and we got Captain Marvel, but Captain Marvel's a bad character because you know what? Overpowered character is not interesting. It's not a fun character. But and I don't. It's gonna make it like, oh well, women don't. But it's like, I don't think people who make these complaints understand why that's a big problem. An overpowered character just isn't a fun character. They don't have there's no risk or threat when they get involved in stuff. They don't get in a situation you're just like, oh well, they make it out of it. It's like, yeah, they will.
Yeah, no, they got it. It's
as much as I complain about Marvel movies being like a male fantasy, it's like, and overpowered women aren't a woman fantasy where they just punch every man and then they explode or whatever. I mean, come on.
Well, it seems to be a feminist fantasy anyway.
Well, men like to struggle, women like to win.
Yeah, there's no character arc.
Yeah, there is no
with most ones.
From Marvel, the corny and mockable lady team up moment in Avengers Endgame is dropping new and old female characters like hotcakes and not standing by actresses and women directors who receive vitriol. If they're good, like, people like directors terrible. Regardless of the gender, and if she's good, no one cares. Like it's Sofia Coppola is a good director.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name that did
she's an actress.
Freaking Wonder Woman until she made 1984.
Oh, Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, she was really good until she wasn't.
Yeah, she was the hot business, and then.
Oh, once again, nobody cares about women directors if they make good movie. Good movie. You are living in a weird world of victimhood, and the lens you see everything through is just absurd.
So, according to the person who wrote this article, apparently, even though these women-led movies tanked and were verifiably bad, Marvel should have just sunk more money into
Well,
movies and
I,
television
I
shows.
think the accurate way to view this is she thinks that that these movies failed because chuds on the internet harassed them, creating a culture of this movie's bad, and then they failed because of chuds on the internet. But the influence of trolls and stuff are not enough to tank a movie. A movie's bad. That's why it tanks. Because she said dropping new and old female characters like hotcakes and not standing by the actresses and women directors who receive the vitriol. She thinks that's why these movies failed. Not standing by the actresses and the directors.
To me, that kind of says, well, in order for Marvel to stand by these people, they have to continue to employ them.
That's a given.
Or come out and be like, no, they are perfect in everything. How dare you? Or something like that. It's like,
But this is where they drop the ball by not standing with their actresses and directors and whatnot.
We should have gotten a She-Hulk season 2.
See, because her argument, whoever this is, would be She-Hulk season 2 failed because of the vitriol and anger and harassment on the internet. Not because it was bad and people didn't like it. It's because the internet trolls were saying it was bad and spreading misogynist misinformation to scare people away from seeing it. This would be her perspective, and she is way outsizing the influence that commentators on the internet and people on Twitter have over this sort of thing. There are movies that people have harangued and then ended up being fine.
Yeah.
But usually, if there's a lot of negative reception to a film, it's probably because it's bad, and then it ends up being bad. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's not without cause most of the time.
It just fell out of the sky, Rhett.
Let me be 100% clear. I enjoy the 2021 film Black Widow quite a bit. Good for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
You're the only one.
Most people didn't, but great. Yeah. That's great. The tone was refreshing and felt like reading a Black Widow comic. I would question that, but fine. Maybe that's how you see the Black Widow character. Fine. Once again, you're in a minority. I'm in a minority on opinions all the time. I famously made a comment about how I didn't like Interstellar and I thought it was stupid and everybody didn't like my opinion, but that's fine. The opening credit sequence was... Shut up, Ross. The opening credit sequence was rad. Okay. It introduced Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova, who is about as perfect as MCU casting as characters get. The general audience reaction to Florence Pugh's character is she is cringy.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
this terrible Russian accent.
Yes, this is the general audience reception. So it worked for you, which is great. It didn't work for everybody else.
No.
We're supposed to keep doubling down on these characters, and if people like Peggy Carter, her show didn't work super well. I think you get the point. They're not standing by the women, and women are failing in the MCU. I have no problem with great women characters. I don't. I want good women shows, though. I don't want cringy power fantasy stupid fests of women with no threats to them and no character arcs and no difficult journey where they go through problems, they have to overcome the problems, and instead they just walk in and punch everything in victory. Like, that's not an interesting movie. I need her to have difficulties and overcome some sort of obstacle. Like, I need that. I know that sounds like a lot for storytelling, but simply woman, awesome, hands on hips, boss babe is not enough for me as a character.
Yeah.
Call me demanding, but that's just how I feel.
Needy. Rhett, you're just so demanding.
Oh, look, 30% more liquid with Huggy Snug and Dry.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good product.
It's great news.
Oh, Sex, politics, and Star Wars. How Disney's 4 billion fandom turns socially radioactive.
Great.
Again, another article where the fans get done.
Just people trying to refight the culture war and browbeat you for not liking something. Thing is, this was already fought at the box office, and you lost.
Yeah.
This is already fought. But you're trying to reanalyze this in the background and browbeat people for not liking something they didn't like. Like that's just how it. But let's read a little bit. There are a few social experiments more psychologically draining to me right now than hearing a man casually bring up Star Wars. Ugh.
Right.
That's not because I think every criticism of Disney's sci-fi franchise is sexist or secretly fascist. Frankly,
Actually, you do.
after more than a decade of wildly underwhelming creative leadership by former Lucasfilm Ltd. President Kathleen Kennedy, who stepped down in January, I'd say some backlash was warranted. Oh, well, thank you for the allowance.
Oh,
there.
are we allowed to say that now?
No.
Oh.
But
Apparently.
sometime between Star Wars
Only
Last
if you're
Jedi
a woman, apparently.
and Elon Musk breaking up with the Trump White House, Star Wars discourse stopped feeling like normal movie chatter and started feeling like endless game of maybe misogynist roulette. This is a weird, subjective, well, it feels like it got worse, is what you're telling me. It suffices to say I'd sooner discuss sex, politics, and religion than hear about some genre film fans really what some genre film fans really think about embattled Star Wars heroine Rey.
Okay.
Star Wars conversations now arrive under a fraught cloud of strange and exhausting uncertainty, one that, in 2026, hardly feels family friendly. All right. In my experience, is a major cultural and social shift for fictional characters that impacted its reputation at nearly all levels of the entertainment business. Whether I'm in the lobby of my local AMC or waiting around backstage in an award show, are you dropping like status hints?
Yeah, I go to stuff like that. I'm pretty cool.
If someone
This
says,
is why I'm better than you, and you should listen to my opinion.
Anyway, if someone says they think Disney ruined Star Wars, I have to brace myself until I'm
They did.
certain I know what they mean. Maybe they're going to make a thoughtful point about the obvious artistic clash between filmmakers J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, who intermittently directed the Star Wars sequel trilogy with notoriously mixed results. Maybe they're going to share their frustration over the poor narrative planning that played out over the dozen or so Star Wars TV shows debuted on Disney Plus since launching in 2019. Or maybe, just maybe, in a Star Wars galaxy far too close to my face, they're going to tell me why it was, in fact, the women who ruined everything. For everyone. I'm gonna intercede this point really quickly. The answer to that is yes and no. Like, hyperbolically, yes, the women ruined it. And actually, reasonable discussion, it was poorly written women that ruined it. Because I don't have a problem with Rey being the main character. I have a problem with Rey being who she is.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like I didn't care about Admiral Holdo. I cared that Admiral Holdo was a shitty character.
Yeah, she sucked.
Love Leia. Yeah. She's one of the greatest Star Wars characters of all time. Poorly used and badly written. And, like, I don't mind Rey, and I think Daisy Ridley's fine. She seems like an affable person. Her character is just really badly written. She doesn't shockingly badly written. And so you can redirect this to fit into some sort of political narrative you're trying to craft here, where somehow it's all about just misogyny and sexism and whatnot, and people just hating on women. And ignore the reality of the situation that people didn't respond to Rey. Now, if your conclusion is it was all sexism, then you have to accept the fact that a massive portion of the population are just ragingly sexist. And if that's your conclusion, then you can't make a movie with women in it because a huge portion of the population just ain't having it. But the problem is people still showed up. Like, it made money. They just complained that they didn't like the character.
Yep.
It's funny when people come to conclusions like everybody's so misogynistic and And it's like, well, if that's your conclusion, then make stuff that's super sexist then. And then watch it not get successful. Because if your conclusion is, it's like, well, misogyny destroyed Disney. It's like, okay, then make Mega Misogyny the movie. If that's your conclusion, then because your conclusions should naturally be that's going to make $1 bajillion. But if it doesn't make $1 bajillion, then maybe you're barking up the wrong tree, perhaps.
Well, by this logic, there would never be a female-led movie that would make any money. If your logic held that it was just men hating women, then if there was ever a movie that starred a woman, it would never make money.
They're just picking a modern gender war when we've had women main characters in films for like ever.
Ever.
Forever. Gone with the Wind, for Pete's sake. Extreme hostility towards Daisy Ridley using the word woke. Yeah, well, woke refers to the hyper political, hyper identity politics attitude that was pervasive in this country and worldwide for a decade or two. Like you might think it's a charged word, but it's a shortened way of labeling a movie that's hyper focused on the identity politics. That's really why they label it that way. And Star Wars, it's not about her being in the movie. It's about her being a bad character that has no sort of journey or threat or ish. It's like you're not invested in a situation because there's no situation that she can't overcome through easily waving her hands. And that would be considered woke in its own way, because the attitude of we have to present women is hyper strong and hyper capable, and women don't go through normal difficulties the way average women do, Silver. Every woman has to be mega boss and overcome every situation in the best way possible. And when you don't do that, then it's really bad. And men are just going, well, she's not interesting. Like, I can't follow her journey because it's all easy. Anyway, using the word woke often describes something as something or someone that isn't very woke at all. Well, I mean, colloquially, it's
not really.
People overuse it. That's fair. Referring to women and girls as females. How was that?
What? That doesn't even make any sense.
I'm confused.
Like we're some kind of alien species being studied in a remote lab on the planet Camino. Here's the problem. Gender politics became so hyper that women meant anybody with any type of genitalia, that using female heavily classified, well, genetically this is female. But I guess if you're going to have hang-ups about all language, then we're going to do that.
I'm gonna be honest and maybe a little bit controversial here. This feels like somebody who lives in New York that was complaining about catcalling and like kind of blaming it on white guys when it wasn't white guys. And like, because I'm gonna be honest, calling women and girls females, that feels melanated. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. Yeah. At least the people of various melanated skins that I've been around in my lifetime, friends and otherwise, that feels like something they would do. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not saying white guys don't do it.
All right. Here's parentheses. If I really wanted to speedrun this, I just asked these guys when they last Googled Princess Leia slave bikini, but where's the fun in that? I've never Googled Princess Leia slave bikini. Yeah. I mean, I would be that guy, and I'm kind of prudish, but I've never Googled Princess Leia slave bikini.
You know, we should put a poll attached to the channel.
With all four of us.
The last time you Googled Princess Leia.
But see, this is her worldview coming through in the article. This is how she sees how things are structured. Men who don't like Daisy Ridley are men who are also hyper sexist and only care about Princess Leia slave bikini hot stuff. As opposed to all of my arguments about Daisy Ridley were not, she's a stupid woman with boobs. My arguments are she's badly written, her character arc is horrible, She doesn't go through any interesting story arcs. I mean, those are my issues, not because she's in the movie. And in fact, when it comes to Princess Leia slave stuff, Princess Leia is a great character. She'd still be a great character if she didn't have the slave bikini scene.
Yeah.
It wouldn't change because she's well written and well acted.
Mhm.
It makes sense to be wary after Disney purchased Lucasfilm in a landmark 2012 deal valuing the studio more than $4 billion. Kenny, who took over Star Wars, was the legendary creator George Lucas, a world-class talent in her own right. Not true. She was producer. She had producer added to a lot of really well-known movies. And it's really questionable as to whether or not her influence was part of that success, or she was simply attached because she knew Lucas and Spielberg. Kennedy came up.
His secretary first.
He was.
Somehow
She was Spielberg's
elevated.
secretary first. Anyway,
And you elevate a secretary to the head of your company.
in Hollywood, you fail upward.
How does that make sense?
That's how it works. A world-class talent in her own right. No, Kenny, producer, worked with Spielberg, crowd pleasers like Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Extraterrestrial. Yeah, but she didn't make those movies. She was a producer. That's a whole different role. She was chosen by Lucas as a successor, and disappointing.
Yeah.
Strong start with The Force Awakens. I thought Force Awakens was a bad movie. It did well
It was a terrible
financially, but it was riding on the coattails of, hey, new Star Wars.
Yep.
But
it was riding on the coattails of its betters.
But I hated Force Awakens. Clinched the all-time domestic box office record in North America. Title still holds today. Well, good for it.
That doesn't mean it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm not going to drag us through this. It goes through a lot of really cringy commentary and just bitterness and gender politics stuff. And it's like, making everything about men versus women is what makes Hollywood intolerable. It makes me not want to engage with you or watch your films. And then we just watch these movies fail. And then you're going to blame me for not... Yeah.
Yes, I am. I am going to blame you.
Stop blaming me, Ross. Silver, your thoughts on the women stuff as our artificially created woman? This is how people don't think I'm sexist, because she's here.
Exactly. Well, first of all, I hate these people. Your characters are dumb, that's why they're bad. It's as simple as that. It's not a sexist thing, it's just that they suck. I don't know what else to say about that. It's that simple.
From the mouth of the Overlord, everybody.
Yes, the one and only Overlord says your character stinks.
All right, let's forge ahead like a psychopath, like a toddler running through the delicate area in Bath and Beyond. The Mandalorian and Grogu drops 72% in its second weekend, and the box office fears grow for Disney's Star Wars movie. It is now the worst performing Star Wars movie of all time. It doesn't look like it's going to surpass Solo, which was the previous worst performing Star Wars movie of all time. And in fact, it's broken some records for Star Wars. One being, it's the first Star Wars movie ever to drop out of the #1 spot in its second week.
Ouch.
So, Star Wars has saved everybody. It's a new era. Let me remind you, there were internet influencers that were claiming that this movie could make upwards of $2 billion. Because Grogu fun, women like Grogu. Silver like Grogu.
Like Grogu best? Question mark?
Well, it's just, ew, cute baby, and then women would squeal. Oh, see, women like that, Ross. You're now a favorite character.
Yeah, well.
Your favorite character of the podcast? Ross?
Guy with beard and gun.
I like guns.
We need to give you like anime eyes or whatever, and just the women are like,
There you go.
"Aw."
Blind test.
Okay, there's a really stupid story that hit the internet, and I don't know how to explain this without making it sound dumber. Okay? So, ahead of the big Xbox showcase in June, Chief Content Officer Matt Booty, yes, that's his name, gave fans a sense of what to expect from the event. Was his confirmation that news of Microsoft's next gaming console, Project Helix, would not be at the show that set off Firestorm? No, it's something much sillier. Booty was asked on the latest Xbox podcast if fans should expect the company to continue being transparent about which games in the showcase would be multi-platform. Yes, absolutely, he responded. We'll be very clear about what platforms a game is coming to and want to continue that precedent. I think we've got a good system going where we make it clear in the showcase. Ross, what on earth could you possibly imagine would be the controversy after this?
The wrong brand coffee.
No. Why would it be a problem if they were telling you what other games what other consoles the game is gonna release on?
Oh, is this about
I got nothing.
Yeah, it's really
is this about
stupid.
Combat Evolved?
This is really stupid, Ross.
Oh God, what is this?
What Booty is referring to is the platform logos that appear at the end of the showcase trailer to indicate what it will be available on. Console makers have traditionally only displayed their own logos during these events, forcing fans to research afterwards whether a given game will be multi-platform or not. And while it used to be a safe assumption that a console's first-party games would be exclusive, Xbox multi-platform pushes upended that precedent. Hence, his explanation that fans can expect to continue to see Switch 2 and PS5 logos at its events if given the first-party game like Fable or Halo Combat Evolved will also be released on those platforms. Straightforward, right? But the reaction from Xbox faithful was swift and harsh, both in the YouTube comments sections and on social media. Can you possibly guess why people are upset?
No.
No one, unless you're a weird person, no one could possibly.
The only thing
fathom.
I can think of is that they're claiming some sort of disloyalty here to the brand. Like Xbox should only be pushing itself. It shouldn't ever touch anything that has to deal with any of those lesser consoles.
Xbox will continue to show competitive platform logos at upcoming Xbox Game Showcase. Xbox poster Clobriel wrote on X, feel like the bare minimum expectation many had was for Xbox to really focus on their own platform, at least for the time of the showcase. The account is one of the platform's many unpaid online cheerleaders and was not alone in being put off by Booty's promised transparency. This shows a major lack of confidence in their own ecosystem that carries across Xbox console, cloud, PC handhelds, wrote Xbox podcasts, blah, blah, blah. It's their show. They should make their ecosystem priority number one. Then something even more surprisingly happened. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma apologized. Seeing the feedback on the logo, she wrote on X hours later, it was a miss and I own it. We are talking about how we adjust for future Xbox shows. It's because they weren't Xbox. It's like Make America Great Xbox attitude. Like, why are we talking about other brands at our showcase? And that's what people were bitching about.
Oh my God. Like,
they're not really talking about the brands. They're flashing the logos on the screen for a few seconds to let you know that this game will also be available.
That's too much, Jason. We shouldn't even pretend that the other brands exist.
Oh my gosh, these people are so stupid.
And then Asha Sharma had to apologize.
You should have doubled down and said, screw you.
Ross, this sounds really stupid, but this was the big conversation lately over Xbox of the drama around the logo wars or whatever bullshit they were talking about.
Hasn't this been a thing for like a while now, too? Like, why is this a thing now?
I don't know.
Like, because on one hand, I get it. I do. But you know, that you want the, like, hey, this should be for Microsoft only stuff. Like, okay, yeah. But number one, that, like, the barn doors have been open on that for a while. The horses are gone. So like they are clearly making deals with some of these companies. Like, hey, you'll be featured with us first. Like yeah, you'll release on the other consoles, but like the big push will be Xbox. Like, oh yeah, whatever, okay. But like, so what is stupid? And also, again, you and I have watched these things before, these showcases. Like, this has been a thing already. This is new.
Well, to read this paragraph, there's been a real tension within Xbox ever since it started putting its exclusives on other platforms, especially Sony's. If Machine A gives you access to X games and Machine B gives you access to X and Y games, why would you ever settle for the former? Everything else being equal, and everything else being increasingly equal when it comes to internal specs and overall price, it's easy to understand why someone who invested in Xbox Series X would be disappointed to see games they thought they were paying for exclusive access to end up on PS5 alongside a bunch of games they can't play, like Ghost of Yotei and Spider-Man 2. Yeah, it's all Xbox brand loyalty bullshit. And people getting angry because they're not putting their console first and they're featuring logos of other brands. This is so stupid.
It's really dumb. I mean, what year is this?
There was a popular thread that was demanding a return to exclusives. They got over 21,000 upvotes. And I think where this anger and attitude came from is they've been selling off their exclusives and people are pissed off because there's nothing that separates them from Sony. It's like, look, that's fair. But picking a fight over whether or not they have a logo at the end of a trailer that shows
crazy.
That's really stupid.
That is like, because look, when I have made that argument many times on this podcast that genuinely a decently sized library of exclusives would be very good for these consoles. Genuinely, it denotes health in the industry. But this is such a dumb way to go about that argument.
Yep. Let's move on. 007 First Light sells 1.5 million copies faster than any Hitman game from the IO Interactive. I think it's faster selling than the other Hitman games combined, like the last 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 1.5 million copies in its first 24 hours. I didn't think James Bond still had that selling power, if I'm going to be honest.
I wouldn't have expected that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have firsthand experience of this game. It just didn't interest me. I'm going to tell you, as far as reception, it's been mixed-ish. It's either it has good moments but also problems, or this game is a mess but has some neat moments. It's either tilting positive or negative slightly over the it's okay.
Yeah, you and I were talking before the show, but it's like I haven't seen anybody talking about it.
No, and that's a weird precedent for this to sell really well and have no presence on the internet.
I guess
it
that
popped up for me the other day when I opened the Amazon app. They're like, "Hey, here's James Bond stuff," and I'm like, "That's a thing." So yeah, no hype, nothing. I'm surprised that people are even buying it. To be honest.
Yeah, that's not to say that there isn't like people who are super into it, but like normally, like if it's going big like that, like I would at least see or hear something. Like my algorithm is such that I'm not seeing it really. Very little.
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, good for them. I want a good Bond game. It didn't seem like a game I would be happy with, though. I'm just going to tell you right now. But maybe it's good. Like I don't know. It's selling. Yeah. So, hooray for IO Interactive. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Though things are going well in your direction. Honestly, I'm more personally interested in Batman, Lego Batman.
Batman.
Christopher Rose is in that game. Which it should be. I'm going to read a stupid article, everybody. The Democratic Socialists of America played an election-themed Dungeons & Dragons game and raised $30,000 for their local campaigns.
Oh,
I guess at a big conference or something.
good for them.
Sparking drama and people like Dungeons and Dragons is socialist. It's like, well,
No,
I
it
mean,
can be if you make it,
I
but
guess they raised
no.
money for. I mean, not to imply that there's a crossover between D&D players and socialism.
Oh, I'll make that. I will imply that heavily.
There's a crossover between purple hair and role players, as well as purple hair and socialism.
This is what happens when you let the theater nerds into D&D.
But they used it as a tool to make money. I would perhaps, if I were Dungeons and Dragons, vehemently distance myself from any politics or political party so that people don't imply that Dungeons and Dragons is all about socialism, so that you don't just get harassed by all the other political parties.
Uh-huh.
But, maybe just let them use your branding when doing something. It's fine.
I was going to say, I mean, how does that work? Like, I mean, unless if they said Dungeons and Dragons is the thing, I guess that is a problem. But I don't. It's really odd. I don't know. I think they would at least make a statement, at least, anyway.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons does not select. It does not endorse any political party or whatever.
Yeah, like, hey, we're glad that they enjoy D&D. We do not endorse any political parties. We just make a game people play. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be the appropriate way to go about it. But,
Mhm.
Dungeons and
they
Dragons
seem
has
to
been
have-
super stupid lately.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's shift on. The Steam Deck. Okay, so here's something stupid. Valve recently raised the price on the Steam Deck, making the handheld PC console cost up to $949 for the 1 terabyte OLED. It's a massive $300 increase, Ross.
Oh my god. Jesus.
You know what's even dumber? The Steam Deck sold out again at the increased price.
Oh my
Ouch.
god.
Apparently,
You know,
they can charge whatever they want to, and people will fork out the money, and they'll just have to live with it.
Rhett, people yearn. They yearn for the portable PC. They yearn for the Steam Game Boy. The Steam Boy, if you will.
The children yearn for the Steam mines. Which kind of brought up a larger question of this is a bad precedent to set up, because it's like we can charge whatever we want to, and you'll eat it.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
We should anticipate such moves from Sony and Xbox next.
Well, listen. There is a possibility. There is a reality. That after Gabe retires and or dies, that Steam could just be the most vile bastards in all of gaming. I mean, that there is a possible future where that happens. I mean, they are positioned very well to do this.
Remember when the unofficial motto of Google was "Don't be evil"?
Yeah.
And they officially dropped that as the unofficial name because Google became so big that I don't think they can not be evil at this point.
It's imposterous to not in some way be evil.
To stomp the lives of others. I'm going to skip through the next two really quickly. Lupita Nyong'o has been defending her role as Helen of Troy. Says that the cast is representative of the world. Greece is not representative of the world. Let's see, moving on. One of the biggest networks of gaming sites reveals new plan to only pay writers per click. That's right. The Gamer website is now paying writers per click for each article that they write. I don't care that much about the gaming media. Is weird because they write articles about products. So they're in this weird amalgamation world where it's like access to product and then writing about product and being able to it's an odd element that exists in the gaming journalism. One of the biggest problems with gaming journalism in the last while was they basically were getting hyper politicized, which Kotaku has kind of rolled that back heavily.
Yes.
Because they're like, you're just writing about politics and not about games. What was the famous PlayStation 4 article that kept inserting politics about Bernie Sanders into the discussion about the PlayStation 4?
Yeah.
Or the recent election sort of thing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I'm going to be weird as somebody who's very market-based in my politics. You will also create an odd counter to that, where if you're paid per click, then it will encourage article writers to write sensationalist, exaggerated drama that might not be accurate or good reporting. Just to try and garner. I mean, that sort of attitude helped to destroy sort of modern media with newspapers and television and whatnot. But it's also what earns money. It's like they should probably have a base pay and then be encouraged to write stuff that gets attention. Like, I don't know what the best medium between this, but I read that and I was like, I mean, on the other hand, that might be a negative because now it's just going to be clickbait slop constantly.
Yeah, which maybe at least in the short term, the company doesn't care because they just need the clicks.
Anyway, that was my thoughts on that article. Regardless, it's been a fun discussion. We got to get this wagon train moseying on. I don't know why I went with the metaphor that we are wandering the Wild West, the wild New Jersey West.
The Joyzy West.
Fix our spaceship.
Now our spaceship crashed. We're lost in cyberpunk 80s mega city.
It's beautiful.
And I'm just crazy punching the air.
And I'm just going, meh.
I'm getting my shadow boxing workout.
It's very important.
There is, believe it or not, there's a secret narrative about the lore of this podcast.
Listen, viewers, there's lore about a lot of stuff you don't know about.
Yeah, it's in my head in the background, and no one's gonna know because I'm just Rhett's having fun.
Certain musical groups per se, listen.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little too scandalous to get into today. If you get what I mean.
No, we don't.
Tell us more.
Famous Korean pop group. Scandalous.
From that really famous producer man.
Me. you know, Silver.
Yeah, and the assistant with the accent that is vaguely like Janine.
Janine from Ghostbusters is my assistant.
Yeah. We'll make you a star, kid.
We have fun. We have fun here on this poorly listened to podcast. But if you do listen to it, we appreciate it because you're joining in on the shenanigans. So do your like, comment, and subscribe. I should just, if we were popular enough, I would encourage just everybody say negative things about the podcast in the comments section.
Do it.
Gosh.
But like just not even pointed criticism, just ridiculous criticism.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Rhett could be blacker.
I, for one, am a little disappointed.
We don't need black representation. We need racial stereotypical black representation. Too much Robin Williams?
Never enough Robin Williams.
No, too much Robin Williams. Even zero Robin Williams is too much Robin Williams, Ross. I will mute the crap out of you. you will cease to exist as a human, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
You know that power?
there.
No. We're not doing Robin Williams' voice, Ross. We're not doing it.
Imagine I suddenly gain that ability.
Oh my god, you need to work on it. Get that
But
going.
it's so bad. Right now, it's just,
Oh.
No, we're not. It's infecting other people, much like the SARS.
See, Silver, you got to do it like this. You got to be Robin Williams.
Yeah, I'm going to end this podcast because I hate you all. So guess what? It's an outro. Robin Williams is dead. He'll never come back. Goodbye.
If you like the show, follow Rhett, Jason, Ross, and Silver, the world's most lethally stupid internet personalities, on Twitter at DG Podcast or on Instagram at Distracted Gamers. If you liked or hated what you heard here today, you can email them at thedistractedgamers@gmail.com and share your feelings. Not that Jason would care, since he hasn't any, of course.